Hello and welcome to the Party Dungeon. This is Dungeon Party. As always, I'm your DM, Blake Peebles, and here is your cast. You'll notice that two of them have turned into the dust bunnies from... Wait, why is Peter on here twice? I fucked up. Shit. Fuck!
Preferential treatment.
I thought I did it right. God damn it.
Twice as many people to talk about playing Marvel
Don't
Rivals.
talk about Marvel Rivals, brother. All right, there's Winfield.
No Disney propaganda on this stream.
Yeah, we don't talk about Disney here. We do talk about the Dust Bunnies, though. All right, we're here to play some Dungeons and Dragons. You know, like we do. Before we begin, does anybody have any cherished bits or stories to share? Holy shit, yes!
We got the Mystery Lovers Book of Quotations.
Hell yeah.
That's really good.
Which was found on in the giveaway section of my apartment building.
That's fantastic.
Pick a page.
Before we pick a page, hey mods, can you ban that person who was asking about Cats Go, please?
Wait, who's asking about Cats Go?
You very well know who.
How did you give it voice, Blake?
You gave me attention, that's all I needed.
For funny. Okay, Peter, pick a page for Tommy's book.
Pick a page. We're gonna do page
Up to 230 something.
up to 230. We're gonna do 209.
Whoa.
209. The first quote on page 209 comes from The Fatal Trip, 1997. A failed alibi is worse than no alibi. And
Yeah,
then let's
no,
go to
I
the
get that's good.
The
That's
second
very
quote,
smart.
which is, I've never heard of anyone being both frigid and a sex pot. In the same way you can burn your hand on a lump of frozen metal.
Okay.
That
That's
makes
enough.
sense.
There's a lot to unpack. The first one I agree with. The first one I agree with. It is worse to get caught in a bad alibi than just not have an alibi. But I don't know what the fuck that second one
That
is.
second one went a while.
Wow. Well,
I'm excited. I'm excited for more quotes.
Mystery Lovers.
Is it
Come back
mystery
next time.
lover? Is it like mystery lovers, like people who love the genre of mystery, or is it
Yes,
like
people
mystery
who-
lovers, people who are fucking but aren't sure?
No, this is about like Sherlock Holmes and shit.
Oh,
This
okay.
is not. Yeah, this isn't that sexy, unfortunately.
Well, you can't win them all.
I mean, it's sexy when a sexy man's reading it.
Whoa.
Wow.
Do I sense some tension on the stream?
Find one of those.
Ooh.
So remember that inside, all I'm saying to myself is da-dun, 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 da-dun.
Shut the none of him. He's not allowed to be here.
Wait, speaking of sexy men, can I just tell a story real fast?
Yes, you can. This is the time for it.
Yay! Or I don't know if I already told you guys this. If I did, let me know. I went on a date with a man, and the man took me back to his apartment. And then while we were hanging out, wink, wink, at the apartment, halfway through, he told me I needed to lose 15 pounds.
What an asshole.
What? Hello? Tommy, you're looking to see if that's in your mystery quotations for
I'm
lovers?
looking to see if there's any advice here. You could have always said to him, as Inspector Gabriel Hanaud said with great simplicity, Mademoiselle, I have served. You could have said that. You could have said that.
Real.
You could have said.
Tommy, you know what?
You could have said from the book Heat. If you can't do the time, don't do the crime. Which is a real quote in this book.
Oh my god. Hey, fuck that guy. What?
Yeah, well, he actually, his direct quote was, "I need to see you at 120."
I think I like that less, actually. I think that's worse.
Yeah.
Was it like is he like a
Is he a gym guy?
gym guy?
He's a personal trainer. He's a personal trainer, and all he would talk about is his bulk cycle he's about to go on.
All right.
So this is more like a. He's thinking about you as somebody who might like fight and like
be a potential client. Maybe. I don't know if he wants me to be a boxer, if he wants me to lose 15.
Well, I mean, sometimes boxers have to lose weight to compete.
True.
So
I need to be in the youth division. So.
I need to see you at 120 is actually crazy. Like, that's actually fucking crazy to say to a person.
Nude in bed.
Yeah, I mean, when else?
Yeah.
Alright, well... It's no what's...
New York, baby!
It's no what's Chelsea playing, but we'll take it.
We guess what Chelsea's playing?
Yeah. What do you think? And we'll check with her next week. You don't actually, Peter. You might be right though. Actually, she does love them superheroes.
That's what I was gonna say. Marvel Rivals.
That's
probably playing Marvel Rivals.
That's our guess.
Okay. All right, man. Sure. That's the guess.
Playing Marvel Rivals. That's what we're all playing these days.
You got a weird energy about you right now. I don't really.
Peter, are you playing Marvel Rivals right now?
I'm clipping a conversation from a minute ago, actually.
Okay. All right, let's. You know what we're all playing right now, though.
Marvel Rivals.
No, Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah, it's been 1 week since we played last. You can tell because my beard is the same size. All right, so last week on Bright Futures. This is a fucking mess. Why do we do this? We're 92 fucking sessions in a stupid bullshit campaign. What are we doing?
In Phoenix out and everything collapses apparently.
Sorry.
Oh my god. I don't know. You guys fucked around and found out
poppies
last week. You did some planning, you looked at your list of shit and crossed some things off your list of shit, actually, which is huge. And then decided to cross another thing off your list of shit. Took a quest from Althea Rest to go try to get his son engaged to the heiress of the Evdetour Valley. Except it turns out the person who will be wooing in the place of his son is our very own Sean D. Silvereyes. So you did some practice rounds and then joined the Baronet in teleportation to Salos, to the Evdetour Valley. Arrived at night because of the time difference. Before you go to sleep, you met a big, boisterous, warm gentleman named Lord Byron. Spent the night at the Baronet's house as well, who will also be attending the Countess's 40th birthday party and parade and festival and joust and weekend-long celebration. He seems very interested to meet y'all because he is also... Nice hearts. That was crazy. He seemed very interested to meet y'all because he also used to be an adventurer until... I think only Tommy can do it.
So sad.
Tommy, did we ever identify what feature that is that lets you do that?
I don't know.
Don't put the baby bottle on
I also have this one, I think. Well, if I go... I can't... I don't know. I'm doing magic.
Anyway, you guys went to bed. Don't be fucking touching that soundboard, I swear to God. Anyway,
evening for it.
You went to bed. You went to bed, and that's where we left off. Let me get the right music going.
We're all asleep at nighttime.
Don't fucking touch the goddamn soundboard, brother. Let me just make sure everything's working correctly. Great. Cool. So, in the morning, you awake. And you awake to a nice little breakfast being laid out in the sort of fireplace common area that you spent some time last night. Some tea, a few servants walking here and there and giving you the food. The baronet is up and seems to have been up for a while. Lord Byron is not yet at the table. But the baronet says, we ride this morning to the capital, to Jacolar. There I will take my leave of you, as I have many things to get done today. But you're free to explore, accompany Lord Byron wherever, if you so choose. Meet with your contact at wherever you're meant to go. Do what you will, and I will see you at the festivities beyond then. It's about an hour ride to the capital. For you all, it should be quite warm, so I wouldn't worry too much about cold clothing, though I will warn you that you may stick out a bit in terms of appearance. So be aware.
What do you mean?
You may have some eyes upon you.
Because...
Well...
because I'm...
You're orange.
Right. I'm used to that.
And
a lot
you're
of people
green.
stare at me for that.
Yes, that's
What?
why. And you're green and red.
Oh, I didn't know.
Should we get some, like, local attire?
I don't know
some
that
duds?
I don't know that would really change
Do you have
the looks.
a hat big enough to cover this?
I don't personally, but you are friends of the Countess. And many people can vouch for you. I doubt anyone will give you trouble, but just be aware that the valley is, it's a peaceful place. Not a lot happens here. So many of the folk here don't really know what the folk from the outside world look like, with the exception of the nobles who come to vacation here in the winter.
I
Just
can't wait.
Just something to be aware of.
Thanks for the warning.
At this, the door swings open. You see Lord Byron already kitted out in his whole big armor setup, sweeping and say, "My friends, we have a lovely ride ahead of us today, and I do so look forward to hearing more of your tales of grand adventure." He pushes past, sits down at the table, takes a big heaping of the breakfast, and starts shoveling into his mouth.
How'd you sleep, Lord Byron?
I slept admirably. Baronet, your mattresses are just the right firmness for my old achy back. Baronet goes, "Well, I'm very glad, Castellan. And the rest of you, how did you all sleep?"
Yeah, it's beautiful
Oh, yeah.
here. Yeah.
I've not had the pleasure of visiting your home, but I hear it's quite a bit colder up there than it is here at the moment. So enjoy our temperate weather. Some say there's no better weather in the entirety of this area, and I would agree.
Well, we look forward to it. How are we traveling today?
By horseback. Can you all ride?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Definitely.
Well, it shouldn't be too difficult to ride. We'll be on the road the whole time, so as long as you've, interacted with a horse before, I'm sure you'll be fine. And if not, I'll ride behind you to make sure nothing happens.
We've all ridden before, right?
yeah.
I don't
I
think
feel
it's a campaign we have.
No, we have.
I've ridden many a time.
No, I mean, last time you took horses to Garrick Bastion, but you took horses drawing a wagon. Same with the Underdark trip. So I don't know that you guys have ridden horses together this game.
It's okay.
Which is crazy, but...
If anyone is nervous, I'll be your horse.
Oh, you can turn into a horse! I've heard of people with that ability. I would love to see it for myself.
Sure.
Oh, fantastic! Is it just horses or
Not inside.
or any
Don't do this
beast
inside.
you desire?
Pretty much anything I see.
Oh, Well, look at that! I've always been somewhat jealous of you magical folk. That must be exhilarating to turn into whatever beast you wish.
Well,
Yeah, I
could-
got flayed to get it.
You got flayed?
Heather's story is one of many ups and downs, shall we say.
Well, I would love to hear it upon the ride, if you don't mind, Heather.
Oh, yeah, you know, casual writing conversation.
Well, if it's a painful memory that I won't force you to regurgitate it, but I'm very interested.
You know, come to think of it, I could also turn into a horse, can't I?
Well,
just
would
cast
you,
polymorph.
would you look at that?
I could just cast polymorph on like any of it. We could all. Any of us could be a horse briefly.
Brony arc incoming.
No. No.
If you think about it, friendship is magic.
All right.
It's a good. We got a good energy at the session tonight.
Don't like it. We're regretting having this one a little bit. I'm
like, oh no, I'm just struggling because my roommate is drumming in his room right above me.
I'm
like concentrating.
I can't hear it if that.
Yeah, I don't hear anything.
Yeah, so
Okay, cool.
don't worry about that. But I can imagine. I won't force you to tell this story, but know that I would love to hear it if you're hoping to tell it.
You need about like 3 more friendship points to get there.
Well, I will endeavor to gain those friendship points over the course of this weekend.
We'll see.
You know, adventurers must stick together.
Where on the map are we right now?
Yes. So you are at Betrell, right here. No, it's not working. Oh, because I'm on the wrong one.
I don't see names on this map.
Well, you gotta click the little.
You gotta go to the journal.
The journal notes.
Oh, you gotta open the journal.
So you see the bend of the river with the forest on it. The first village past that. Yeah, there you go.
Trail, of course.
Where Everett's mouse is right now. Betrell, which you know is also the Baronet's last name, which probably has something to do with that.
I was really zoomed out, so the icons are small, and I thought the windmill icon was like a little goblin man.
Yeah,
with stubby little legs.
It's just a little goblin man in here.
Like the upper part of the windmill were his ears, the lower part were his little arms.
I see
Mistaking windmills for monsters is very classic. Classic literature of you there.
It's all part of Shawnee's learning how to joust arc.
Sean Quixote.
I could be your joust horse.
You could.
That's huge. That's huge.
that
I won't buck you.
That would be something.
Huge.
Excuse me, Baroness.
Baronet.
Baronet, sorry.
Male.
Baronet, which of your esteemed ancestors was Betrayal named after?
Well, my family name is Betrayal.
Well, yes, but the town is also called Betrayal.
Yes.
So I'm just asking, which of your ancestors was it named, or was it all of them?
Yes, our line, as long as it's been a line of baronets, has been in charge of the town of Betrayal.
Oh, okay.
Was
there like a specific Betrayal that's famous for having started it, or?
Well, we were granted that name by the King of Volante. Well, long ago, back before Salos was Salos.
Cool. Well, it sounds like you have a pretty cool family, so.
Cool is certainly a word for it, but yes, it is a long line, and I do my duty by upholding it.
You got a lot of paintings and stuff of your family around here?
Yes, around. Most of the paintings have something to do with a family member or another. Though I will say that the title of baronet is not a high-ranking one in our hierarchy. It's
Better than Rural, I guess.
Well, I suppose that depends on your perspective, but the people of the town of Botrel are quite distinguished as well, in my humble opinion, though it is my town.
Everett, wasn't it you and I who got into a pretty heated discussion about nobility a few weeks ago?
I'm working on something here.
Okay.
Well, could we maybe take a walk around and take a little tour of your home?
Yeah,
okay,
yes.
not.
Well, we leave in half an hour, but the home is yours to explore. There's nothing. You're welcome to take your time around. There's horses to prepare either way. Though I should ask, Tether, do you intend to be a horse, or should I prepare you a horse?
How many hours is it?
One. About an hour-long trip.
Oh, I'll just be a horse.
Very well.
All right.
I'll let the stable
Who
hand know.
wants to ride Tether?
Probably a few less prying eyes.
That very well may be true, yes. Though when you cease to be a horse, there may be more prying eyes.
Tether, what is this horse going to look like?
Well, you know in Game of Thrones, that horse that the Night King rides that has the neck is ripped open and everything's flopping out of the neck? You know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't. I don't know about that.
No one remembers that horse? I'll
No,
pull up a picture.
You don't have to. I remember.
You know, green, some lichen and stuff on it. This is out of character, of course.
This may attract more.
I shall go speak to the stablers. We have about half an hour. Please enjoy your breakfast, your tea, and if you want, feel free to take a tour of the estate.
Everett pulls out his horseshoes of the Zephyr and looks around the table and says, I guess I should save these for whenever we get a horse, but I've been thinking about them every time we talk about horses.
Forgot that you
Probably
had
not
this.
right to
If we want
put them
to,
on someone else's horse.
if we want to take on the most high-profile thing possible, we put the horseshoes of the Zephyr on Tether, and I ride Tether. So all eyes are on me when we pass someone.
Floating.
What would happen if I was a horse and we put the horseshoes on me and then I turned back?
How long
God.
can you be a
Does Tether
horse?
just float forever?
I can currently be a horse. I think it's 2 hours.
All right. Well, you'd have an hour of. It would take an hour for you to attune to them, I believe. And then they would probably automatically unattune to you as soon as you stopped being a horse, because they have to be attuned to a horse.
I just was gonna Google how long I can be wild shaped, and I just typed into Google tether horse.
Well, you can tether a horse.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Oh, I can number of hours equal to half my druid level. 5 hours.
So you could have them on you for 5 hours, and then they would unattune to you when you stop being a horse, because I believe they require attunement by a horse. I could be wrong about that, though.
Are you sure, like, when I transformed back into a humanoid, they're turned into a matching, like, mitten and booty set?
I'm pretty sure they won't.
When you turn back into a human, we have a body horror moment as they're
So,
gouged in the
horse- yeah. Wouldn't be the first time.
Oh, no. You don't have to attune to it. You just put them right on. But they wouldn't work if you weren't a horse. Win affixed to a horse. So they'd still be on you, but they wouldn't work.
Oh. Oh, well.
Yeah.
What if I go all out and I'm Pegasus?
That is not a beast, so you can't do that.
Yeah, I know. The boy can dream.
I still think different druid circles
true
should have gotten
polymorph.
different other creature types.
Yeah, but they just use wild shape for other features instead.
Yeah, but it'd be cool if somebody was just like, oh yeah, you can have aberrations or constructs or some weird shit.
Yeah. Honestly, that'd be a pretty easy homebrew. That could totally work. All right. So Everett, you are looking around. You're taking a tour.
Yes.
What are you looking for?
I am going to make an investigation check. And I'm going to look through the paintings and
Sorry.
books and various and sundry other accoutrements in the house to see if I can find any connections between this family and our quarry and their secret house that they live in somewhere and nobody knows about.
Oh, you mean Resk?
Yeah.
So go ahead and make an investigation check, but the House of Betrel is Selosian nobility, and Resk is Zymorian nobility, which is... I mean, if Betrel's story is to believe, the Betrels have been nobles since before written history, and Zymor's only been around for, like, 1,000 years. So you kind of know off the bat that there's not going to be any connection between these two, especially since Zymor and Salos are on a no. They don't interact with each other in any way. They kind of hate each other. But you can make the investigation check. You just probably know going into it that the connection... You probably won't find that connection.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking, like, you know how in Europe in, like, the 16th century, the Italian merchants, like, just, like, became nobility in France and shit. Like, I mean...
Sure.
Yeah,
Right.
How kind of, like, really nobility is international, whereas everybody else is at war, you know? Or like the Habsburgs and shit like that.
I'll go ahead and make the investigation check.
Alright. Let me see. Ooh, 17.
17. I mean, even though you are short on time and you're just sort of running blind, you do manage to find some records, some family trees, and you can actually walk through it and trace the Betrel line back to the days of barbarism and the Volante kingdom that used to be in this area. And from that, you discover that actually the bloodline of the Volante kingdom, which used to be in this area, though Volante is long gone, to honor the bloodline of Volante once Salos took over, the king of that time was given a new name, became the Marquis, which is a completely honorary title. It's just ceremonial, but it still does give some ceremonial power. And the Volante bloodline has now become the Tevrutine family. We're still the Marquess Tevrutine still holds power, I guess, in a keep to the west of here. Sorry, one sec. No connection to Zymor, unfortunately. You don't see any... Selosian nobles are recognized in Caerleone pretty strongly. And, like, to a degree, it goes the other way as well, because those two countries have had a history ever since their founding, but there's no real... there's no real connection, unfortunately.
Okay. Is there like a list of like who the Betrels would be vassals to / have relationship with in the kingdom?
They are vassals to the Chamonteau. The Chamonteau. The people who rule the valley are in charge of all of the nobles in the valley, including the Betrels. So he answers directly to the Countess Clarissa du Chamonteau, whose niece is the one that you're here to see, and whose 40th birthday this whole celebration is about. There's plenty of records of them having friendships or rivalries or, intermarrying with other nobility around the empire, but there's probably too much there for you to track down. And
no relationships with this niece other than the fact that they have to see her at parties?
No, I mean he is and has been the head of the household for about 5 years since his father passed away. He's significantly older than the niece. I'm sure they've interacted, but there's no like formal connection between the two other than he is sort of subservient to her family.
Cool. Are you guys hearing Gossip Girl in my microphone?
No.
Not Gossip Girl, sorry, Gilmore Girls.
No.
No.
But I wish
no.
I was.
Be very funny if we had said no to Gossip Girl and yes
to Gilmore Girls. Yeah, we were just being very sticklers on what exactly we were hearing. Ba, 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 ba.
Great. I will stop snooping.
Cool.
But I am going to. I'm gonna find my compatriots.
That's us.
But I'm not gonna let them know that I see them.
Oh. What are we doing?
I don't know. What are you
Looking around
doing?
for them.
I do want a clarification from the DM.
Yes.
Are Una and P
They're here.
with us but quiet, or are
Yeah.
they just not here?
They're here.
Okay, they're just with us but not
Una's
speaking.
taking another long nap.
Pierre seems tired, and Una is always quiet. So.
They got hit with the jet lag.
Yep.
It happens.
I get it.
Yeah.
That was me last week.
Yeah. Okay.
Sure.
Because I wasn't here last session.
Oh right. Yeah. You're right. I don't know. What are you? I guess what are you doing while you have a half an hour to get ready to go horse mode?
I think Shadi's just triple checking his pack, like his packing, making sure everything's ready to go in its place. Making sure he didn't leave like his phone charger plugged in or something.
Yeah, the thing he has. What are you up to, Septon?
I think Septon's classically just goofing off and waiting to go on to the next thing. He outwardly he's sitting like fiddling with his fiddle, but inwardly he is preparing to get stared at for the rest of the day if he is in an area where people are going to be weird about Eladrin.
Consequently, I think Tether is sitting crisscross applesauce, probably next to Shandi with a blanket covering her.
Okay. The Lord Byron is scarfing down some stuff and pestering Una and Pierre with questions. That is what you see, Everett.
Okay. I'm gonna put on the hyper-realistic goblin mask. And I'm gonna walk in to Shandi and Tether on the door, and I'm gonna be like,
well, they're
hey.
all down in the central area.
Oh, okay, cool. Are there like other people other than our group?
Well, the Lord Byron is there, and there's some servants sort of going in and out.
All right, I'm gonna. Oh, I'll take it off. I'll do this bit later.
Okay. All right. Well, you the baronet calls you out to the horses, and you see that a bunch of horses have been saddled, including a pony for Una. The Castellan has his own horse, which he quickly mounts.
God, I wish Chelsea was here because Septon would absolutely be like, Una, do you need us to lift you onto your horse? Like just
yeah,
give her a hard time.
she rolls her.
Of domestic disguise to turn into a little step stool.
You give her a hard time. She gets really annoyed at you guys.
And that's why she's not talking.
Exactly.
Johnny doesn't realize it's like a joke on her. And he's like, "Oh, Una, it's fine. Many people have struggled to get on their horses. It's a learned skill."
She sulks. She sulks on her
Makes
pony.
it worse.
It's like a Shetland pony too, so she's just like this beautiful little anyway. She looks angry on the cutest creature you can possibly imagine.
Pink Pony Club.
Tether, do you turn into your horrible nightmare horse?
Yeah, I feel like I need to keep hammering it in because I made the character choice that all the animals I turn into look like this.
Yeah. So you turn into that horse, and the baronet who is about to mount his horse goes, do you mind if I gussy you up a little bit, Tether? He casts seeming to make you look like a normal horse.
Alright. Which of us is riding Tether?
You all have your own horse. Tether is unsaddled.
Oh, okay.
You can ride me if you want.
You can't say that.
It's true.
Why not? I would let any of one of my friends ride.
Because
Yeah, but you're a horse.
You can't say that.
You're going right now.
Bends down, crouches down.
Don't speak horse, Tether. Can you talk to the other horses right now? Is that a thing? If you become a horse, can you talk to horses?
I don't.
Do
Is
I
this
have
Twilight
horses?
Princess rules?
I think you can like understand their body language and however they communicate a little bit better, but it's not like you understand horse language now.
Okay.
Cool. All right, and you set off. The
I'm gonna
day.
try to do dressage to be fancy.
Okay, make a dexterity check with your horse's stats.
Not a performance check?
Yeah, you could do a performance check. I think that's probably worse for a horse, but
Yeah, thanks, Peter.
Yeah, but dressage is absolutely
yeah, no,
performance.
I know, but it's a dexterous performance. Either way, performance is fine. Yep.
Okay, so -2. $10.
You're stomping around for sure.
Oh, did I bring Annabelle with me?
Yeah, she's here. She's small. She's small enough to fit on the horse with you.
We're riding the same horse.
Yep. You're both. You're
got
both.
her like
You're
a-
both quite small.
You've got her in like a one of those baby backpacks.
A Bjorn.
Yeah.
So as you head along,
Do you wanna wear? Do you want some clothes?
well, I don't exactly have anything that needs covering.
Well, I just so folks don't look at you quite as weird.
Well,
'Cause we're in a.
I feel like
don't
they're
care.
probably gonna look at me pretty weird one way or another. I'm a petrified statue who's walking around and talking, you know.
I have this Dwarmal black arm jersey.
I mean, if you'd like me to wear it, I'll wear it.
No, you don't have to. I was just offering if you're like, if you want something.
Well, I don't particularly feel cold, and I'm pretty much just like a blank slab of petrified wood. So
No, I'm seeing that. I'm seeing
yeah,
that. Yeah.
it's honestly kind of freeing.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
No, I'm happy for you. Well, let's get on. Sorry, what's this horse's name, Baronet?
Horse name generator. Horse name generator.
Oh, let's get on horse name generator. Come on. Horse name generator.
Suddenly pulls up the My Little Pony horse
So the
name
first
generator.
one that came up is violence. We're not gonna go with that. Shiloh. The horse's name is Shiloh.
Oh,
Why not
Shiloh,
violence?
that's-
It's a terrible fucking. Come on, horse name
What
generator.
horse generator generator?
It's fancy name generators, man. You know.
Depending on the vibe you're going for, violence could be good.
What
That
about
could be
what
you're-
about Flight Blossom? How do you feel about that?
That's
No, we're doing Shiloh. Your horse's
even
name.
not
Your
winning.
horse's name is Shiloh, and in fact, all of the horses are named Shiloh. Weirdly, it's a weird coincidence.
Is there a Shiloh 1, Shiloh 2?
They're just all. They're all Shiloh. All of them are Shiloh. They know. They
Oh,
know the
so
difference.
they all-
Come here, Shiloh, or are they all gonna run?
No, the one who you were talking about would know.
Wait.
They're really smart
They're
like that.
all named Shiloh.
All the horses are named Shiloh. But like, if you say Shiloh, the one that you're talking to knows which one it is because they're bred really smart. It's a really smart.
So, but
horse
then what
breed.
if I'm trying to call multiple Shilohs?
Then you say Shilohs. There you go.
Calling all Shilohs to Hangar Bay 5.
All right, you head out. The day is beautiful and warm, though the folk that you ride past in the town are certainly dressed as though it's cold for them. The valley is absolutely gorgeous. Fields of yellow, purple, and red flowers paint the sweeping canvas of the land in front of you. A large river winds calm and slow through the center, through sunny glades and rolling grassy hills. The mountainous ridge around the valley is as green as the valley floor itself, save two massive snowy peaks. One to the northwest and the other to the east. And built into the side of the eastern mountain is a castle. Its beautiful towers wreathed in flowers, their rainbow coloration broken only by red roofs and white walls. The entire valley, bathed in gentle sunlight, seems painted in pastels and is almost impossibly beautiful and calming. As you ride, Lord Byron points things out to you as you go past. He points out some buildings in the town that he likes. He points to the other mountain and says that the castle that he lives in is actually on the other snow-capped mountain in this range, and is open to answering any questions you may have as you go. And though he doesn't pester you to tell you more about your adventures, he seems very eager to hear more about what you get up to. But as you go, you come... I mean,
I was just gonna say, I don't know about this guy, guys.
He can't.
You're a horse.
You're a horse.
I know.
Eventually, you come to a bridge over the river and pass into an area taken up by fields upon fields of crops. As you ride past the fields, those working in them look up and wave or bow towards your group, though mostly towards Lord Byron.
Does anybody else think that windmill looks like a big goblin?
I can't say I've seen that.
Perception check.
Okay.
Am I seeing it? That's what this.
Yeah, no, fair enough, fair enough.
Is am I seeing it?
Do I see the vision?
6. Am I seeing it?
That's a pretty goblin-shaped windmill.
Can I make an insight check to see if Shandi actually thinks it looks like a goblin or if it's making a joke?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, cool.
You use your mental stats for this, so.
Yeah. That is a 20.
So does Shandi think it looks like a goblin, or is he making a joke?
Shandi sees the vision. Shandi thinks it looks like vaguely goblin shaped.
It is not
So
a
it's
joke.
just like
from
a
Shandi.
conversation starter.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that the person that made that made it to look like a goblin.
Have either of you ever seen?
Estimation.
Have either of you ever seen a four-armed goblin in all our adventures?
Well, no. The upper spokes are its ears, and the lower spokes are its arms.
The spokes are turning.
Well, one has to imagine it in frozen in motion to see the full picture.
Annabelle's riding behind me, and I take out the hyper-realistic goblin mask, and I put it on, and I say, "Hey, Annabelle, put your arms, like, below my arms, okay?" And I put it on, and I go, "Ah!"
Lord Byron turns, draws his sword, and says, "Your friend has been kidnapped by a goblin!"
No.
No, Lord Byron. It's a prank.
Whoa!
Here, Lord Byron.
No, I'd best not.
It isn't. It's a mere illusion.
No, you could have me fooled!
Actually,
You should warn a person before you do that, young Everett.
Yes, young Everett, you should.
no, it's
It's
fun.
just a prank, bro. Is not a valid defense.
Well, I don't know where I come from. It is.
That's true!
Where I come from, kingdoms have fallen on. It's just a prank, bro.
You, at this point...
Heather is now... Oh, sorry.
No,
Heather
go
is
for it.
now doing the dressage where she's, like, kind of diagonal, but is going forward, you know?
Yeah, nice. You,
Kind of like a sidestep.
It looks to the rest of you more like just like a weird sidestep than anything else, but like in your mind, Tether,
high knees.
you're doing it real good.
Thank you.
At this point, you have passed the rest of the fields before you get to this small settlement centered around the windmill that you're talking about. And as you make your way past it and towards another bridge leading off of this little peninsula, it does strike you that everyone you passed, for the most part, was human, with like 2 or 3 half-elven exceptions. And that looked very fairly similar, what you recognize as a Solosian, with the sort of deep olive skin and light brown to blonde hair. And this isn't out of the ordinary from what you know of Salos. It's a pretty homogenous empire. After you cross this next bridge, you do take a very rapid, wide berth around a series of jagged black spires that stick up from the ground, clearly disrupting an old road, but a new one has been laid around it. And as you pass, Lord Byron says, I don't know if any of you were alive for this, but some 40-ish years ago, close to 50 now, I suppose, there's a nasty bit of time where the material plane was consumed by the abyss, and a demonic creature of some kind was fleeing those things around and slaying whole squads of knights. We took care, they was taken care of, but you don't want to touch those spikes. They're fairly evil, and touching them tends to lead to death, so they've sort of been left where they stand.
I was alive, but not on this plane.
Then you were probably spared the brunt of it.
Yeah. Although I think, let's see, Septon would have been a pretty young kid, but Blake, if I remember your lore properly, a good amount of people fled to the Feywild.
It did happen, yes.
Would Septon have any memory of that, or was that a very localized sort of?
No, that was all over the Feywild, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I vaguely remember some people coming into the Feywild at that point, but I was a young kid at the time, only 30.
Byron goes, I always forget how long you elves live.
I'm in my 70s, Lord Byron.
As am I! We actually may be the same age!
I actually don't remember Septon's exact age off the top of my head. I don't even know if I have that on my character's sheet.
I myself, there was no fleeing to the Feywild for the people of the Empire, but, of this Empire, I can't speak for yours, but it was a dark time. I'm glad to hear that some of our fellow material plane dwellers found a safer place to be for a while. Though from what I've heard of the Feywild, not always the safest place to be.
Oh, it's a real coin toss. There's truly beautiful, serene, tranquil places, and there are places that make even the worst places on this plane look rather pleasant.
Well, let's hope most of them got to the good ones.
Tell us about one of your great adventures, Lord Byron.
Well, most of my adventures took place in or around this valley. After all, it's been my life's goal to make this place into the peaceful, wonderful place that it is today. And my work is by no means done. That lich in the hills I was telling you about still continues to elude me in my knight's errand, but, well, one time in particular, there was a sea serpent who wound its way up through the river Oris. And he goes on for the next, 5 or 10 minutes to tell you about him and a band of his fellow knights learning to swim to fight this sea serpent.
Tether is gonna, using dressage, tap out in Thieves' Cant to Una. I think this guy is full of hot shit.
Okay, yeah. It's unclear whether or not the message goes through, but you you Morse code your best you can.
Thank you.
A little ways down this road, you see off to the left a series of large wooden structures and tents being actively erected at the edge of a forest. If you're looking at the map, that is at the edge of the Count's Woods over there. The Baronet will turn and say, tomorrow's joust will be taking place over there. It's the tournament grounds.
Noted.
That's worth scoping out today. Get a lay of the land, eh, Shandi?
Are there any very famous knights who are expected to come in battle?
Well, yes. Actually, the
Anyone we know?
Are there any really good gets? You got any good gets?
I'm not sure what a good get is, Everett, but
it's sort of like when
I think it's pronounced gat.
No. A good get is like when when you're hoping, when you're trying to book like a singer, right? And then you're hoping for like a good singer, and then you get a great singer. That's a good get,
Yes, well,
like a good. Yeah.
Our very own Odessa Tevrutine is said to be competing, and it is very rare that you see her show her prowess on the horse, though she is, as of yet, undefeated in every tourney she has entered. Not many. Her duties take her elsewhere. What Lord Byron may know, she works alongside his knights errant quite often. Oh, yes, young Odessa! Yes, she's a firecracker, that one. Yes, it'll be very exciting to see her joust, and I imagine many look forward to this. Though I've heard that there's a captain of the Lion Knights of Caerleone who's coming. I don't know if he's competing or not, but I sure hope he is. It's been a while since I've rubbed shoulders with those militant lions up there, and let me tell you something. If I weren't as proud as I am of Seleucian knighthood, well, I would move straight to Caerleone. There's no place like it up on your continent.
We've met a few Lion Knights. I believe one of the main security guards at our establishment was a former Lion Knight.
Whoa, would you look at that? So then you know their ferocity.
Oh, she is ferocious. Does she still work there, or did she leave?
No, she's still there. Yeah.
She's still there.
Yeah, ferocious,
Got
all
into
right.
enough trouble that she had to get involved.
Yeah.
Certainly, we've had our disagreements with her.
Fewer on-campus antics.
Yeah.
And yes, I'm sure there's others. I could procure for you a list, but I imagine most of them will be scoping the place out, maybe perhaps setting up for tomorrow. So if you're really curious, you should head on over there yourself at some point today.
We should definitely get a lay of the land. We'll need all the help we can get, right, Shandi?
Do you intend on participating?
It seems it would be best.
Well, I shall be excited to see how a first-time jouster fares amongst the Knights of the Empire.
This fencer's scrawny limbs.
Yeah.
Imagines. And Johnny's one who's like, a lance is really just a large rapier, if you think about it.
This is gonna be rough.
I've been to many jousts. Are there any specific rules on this continent?
Well, it's the Seleucian standard. We invented jousting.
Of course. But I know that rules change over time. Are we allowed to use, or are potential entrants allowed to use any sort of magic or anything, or is it entirely just the strength of your arm?
It's just, jousting is a pure sport, and not that I apologize. His magic, in the way that you all know it, is not as interwoven in our culture than it is perhaps in yours, especially in your empire. But the joust is a test of the bond between a master and their steed, and the strength of the arm and the trueness of the eye of the jouster.
Well, I do think that that it could be interesting to introduce magic into the joust at some point, just as a test to see what could happen.
Well, I would suggest you take that up with your Zymorian counterparts. I doubt many would hold that opinion here in Salos.
What are the other competitions this weekend?
Oh, the hunt!
The hunt, right?
Yes,
the hunt.
The hunt. Which I would, if you'll still have me, I should very much like to serve as your guide.
I'd be quite interested in that. So it's just the joust and the hunt?
Well, those are the two contests, but throughout the weekend, on Saturday and Sunday, a festival will be held within the capital for us as well as the common folk. And then Monday, the masquerade ball.
Masquerade ball. All right. Interesting.
Now, don't worry, there's plenty of masks for sale in the capital.
I don't need one. I have one already.
I would advise you find a different mask, young Master Everett.
You sure you don't want to try it? It's kind of fun.
Perhaps I'll try it later.
I think you'd look cool.
I may, but right now it's taking all my old knees can handle to guide this horse.
Would he look?
Okay, I think we were about to ask the same question.
The same thing here. Go ahead.
Is it the same goblin every time?
Every time Everett's put it on, he's looked like the same goblin.
So I'm gonna take my horse over, and go over next to Septon.
Mm-hmm.
And as we're walking, I'm gonna say, I've had an idea. Now,
Septon will move his horse closer to Everett, thus guiding their two horses further from the group.
Shiloh,
Whoa.
this way.
Shiloh, follow Shiloh.
Shiloh, Septon, if we can reverse engineer this mask, which I think is actually a much better engineering of magic than I gave it credit for when I first picked it up. If we can reverse engineer this mask to create the same goblin and then make a second one, we could be in 2 places at once. If we can make a third one, we could be in 3 places at once. You ever think about that?
Everett, as much as I would love to roll up to a fight as 6 identical goblins, do you understand how ridiculously hard it is to reverse engineer and duplicate a magical item? I'm pretty sure wizards spend their life doing that kind of thing.
Yes, but not for something as stupid as this. I feel like if you're reverse engineering a spell to like go back through a teleport, then yes. But I think this mask might take me, I don't know, a month. But if I could be successful, we could be in multiple places at once, and that could be kind of fun.
I know a guy who works at the university who was all about taking curses off of items. While that item you have there is not cursed, he might know something about duplicating a magic item. I think I worked with him before we met you back in the cat ears era.
He's actually now very good friends with your Solosian buddy, Renee.
That's right. He's friends with Renee.
Before we get ahead of ourselves, here, put this on. I want to see how you look in it.
Something make sure he's not in view of Lord Byron, and then puts the mask on. Am I the same goblin?
You are not the same goblin. You are a goblin that looks kind of like Septon, just like Everett is a goblin looks kind of like Everett when he puts the mask on.
And Septon takes it off pretty quickly.
You do look like yourself, but a goblin.
Okay.
Might be more complicated than I thought.
Heather's gonna do the thieves' can't tip tap. This is a long shot because I don't know if anyone can understand me. But what if a horse tries on the map?
So
you make a dexterity check with disadvantage while they continue this conversation.
So now I am thinking something here. It would be very funny to start a rumor that local goblins had been inspired by the Bright Futures and had created their own hero party meant to look like us, and then we start doing like odd jobs and like hero stuff dressed as a bunch of goblins. Now what I want to know is, do I get shorter when I put the mask on? Septon's a bit taller than a goblin. Not that Septon's very tall.
I don't remember. Let me check Let me check.
Does your size change when you put it on? And if so, would Una become even smaller?
And if not, what would happen if we put the goblin mask on the windmill?
Your size becomes small if it is not already.
Your size becomes small, okay. If it is not already. So Una would not get smaller.
No.
What if you put the goblin mask on a goblin?
What if you put 2 goblin masks, one on top of the other? Would you be tiny?
You don't know that there are 2 goblin masks in the world. This is the only hyper-realistic goblin mask you've ever seen.
This is a wondrous item.
It's actually an artifact, so you guys have...
We got another one.
Mask. This fulfills our find an artifact quest.
Not the fucking legendary scythe on his back. No. It's the goblin mask.
Goblin mask.
I am looking at it thinking about casting legend lore right now. I don't know. I'm not gonna do it. I'll say
I think Blake's eyes are begging now.
You could do it. I mean,
maybe Blake has crazy goblin mask lore for us.
Maybe.
Anyway.
I'm rapidly Googling the plot of The Mask right now.
I think it would be good for us all to have matching masks of a certain type.
No, you want Son of Mask. That's where this comes in.
Either way, finally, at the end of about an hour, you near the foot of the mountain, which Byron quickly tells you is named Saint Revis. And you see ahead of you a city of white-painted stone buildings with red barrel tile roofs gathered warmly like 100 friends hugging the mountain's base. I got a little flowery with the prose here. I apologize.
Earlier when you were describing the valley, I was like, wow, this is really poetic here.
I might have been reading some fucking Steven Erikson right before writing all this, so it's it's all in there like that. It's the whole session. I apologize. Yes, no gate surrounds the city, rather an ornate gilded fence. Its bar is bent in flowing, rounded patterns that suggest it doesn't often have to keep anything out. Instead, it's likely that the veritable army of guards in impossibly large armor spaced at regular intervals of 40 or so feet around its perimeter do most of the defending. With their solid stances, these figures at first seem like statues. The huge white steel armor would be close to impossible to move in, and the appearance is too immaculately kept. No scratches on the armor or stains on their tabards. But as you get closer, you see the unmistakable signs of life. A shift of stance here and there, a slight turn of a helmeted head. As your troop... we lost Tommy. As your small troop gets within 30 feet of the gate, the two figures most closely flanking it simultaneously move with a surprising fluidity, moving from a neutral stance to a salute with their golden shields held to their chest and their swords raised skyward. In a cascade, each of the perimeter guards in turn moves into this salute until all swords that you can see are raised skyward. The Baronet barely acknowledges this motion, curtly nodding, not slowing his horse, and riding through the gate. Byron, on the other hand, beams, looks back at you, and says, "May I present to you the noble bastions of Jacolar, no finer Lecudor bloodlines in all of Salos." He turns back to the guards and says, "As you were, Deviel, your soldiers are as shining as ever." The figure on the left, in an amber tabard, lowers their sword before a vaguely familiar voice rings out from within the massive helm, saying, "Only the best for you, Castellan, and our mutual friends from the Underdark. Well met, adventurers. A pleasure to serve you once again." The voice... Septon, you probably recognize the most as one of the 3 guards that the Countess had on the Underdark trip. You and her had a long conversation about bloodlines and duty bound to bloodlines, where you had a bit of a disagreement.
Good to see you in better climate, shall we say.
That it is. Byron rides past, and the swords are all sheathed back into neutral stance. You find yourself inside. You see the Baronet has already gotten off his horse and is stabling it off of a large entrance pavilion. At the center of this sort of open square, there's a large gilded pole that reaches some 60 feet into the air, with ribbons of green, red, and gold cloth attached to its peak at one end, and the corners of buildings circling the pavilion on the other, giving the area almost the illusion of like being under a tent, though without any of the feeling of enclosure that comes with that. Byron leads his horse over to the same stables that the Baronet is at, and gets off and cheerfully takes over the task of stabling the horses. The Baronet pauses a moment, staring daggers at the older man's back before turning back to you, and reaching into a bag and pulling out an envelope sealed with golden wax, pressed with the symbol of a daisy, and handing it to Shandi. He says, "Should you wish to gain entrance to the palace, present this to the Locutor at the gate, and they will allow you in. I will say, all of you must find your own place to stay for the duration of your stay here, with the exception of you, Master Silver Eyes. As a suitor to the Countess's niece, you will have a room provided in the palace. But the rest of you will have to find your own place to stay, as the palace is nearly full with dignitaries, Selosian nobility, and 3 other suitors of the Countess's niece. The only reason you have this room is because your ward requested it some months ago.
It's much appreciated.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I have much to do, many things to plan, and I'm quite behind schedule. And he turns on his heel and goes. Byron has finished stabling the horses at this point. Tether, did you turn back into a normal person? Or are you getting stabled right now?
I'm not getting stabled, but seeming is 8 hours. So if I transform back into Tether, am I still looking like a nice horse?
No, because it has to be the same. Oh no, it can be. No, he'll drop the spell on you.
Okay.
He just doesn't want an undead green horse running around, because that would not go well.
Jump scares the stable boy that's working on the horse.
Yeah. So he turned back and he goes, "Whoa! Oh, my apologies. I'm sorry. Please don't curse me."
With what?
I don't know. I don't want to be a horse. I promise I'll be good.
Can you turn into a horse?
No.
Then you won't turn into a horse.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. And he brushes inside.
I'm not doing anything. Guys, I don't think this place is for me.
Well, we know that they're afraid of magic, so you have to understand that, like, a lot of these people haven't seen a serious amount of magic before, so...
I want to know, like, are like, the soldiers afraid of magic?
Well, afraid is the wrong word, my friends, but magic here in Salos primarily comes from the gods. From our dearest friends in the heavens above. Arcane magic, like the ones used by you,
Actually, I think that is divine magic, technically.
Well, it's wild magic. It's similar, from the divines, yes, but a specific subset. No, I meant, sorry, young Master Everett, I noticed your spell tome there. I've met a few wizards in my day, you see. It's not as common. It was once illegal, but no longer, hasn't been for quite a long time, but it never really gained favor here.
What about religion check?
Go for it.
Are they friends with their gods here?
Go for it.
And
Where
did we...
27.
Low hard.
Sorry, say the number again?
27.
The gods lived on this continent before they left this plane. So the Selosians claim, whether or not it's true, to be closer to the gods than anyone else. In fact, the Selosian pantheon is generally what it's referred to.
It's interesting. I mean, why would you outlaw something if not for fear of it?
Well, when it was outlawed, there was certainly fear of it, because the, and you may not appreciate the irony in this, but the Blades of Zymor assassinated our Empress at the end of the Age of Sunrise, the first age of our history. Magic was outlawed for a time, and, well, eventually, the prejudice faded, and a hero, though not the conventional kind, named Phil Morrow, had befriended our young Empress at the time, and showed us that magic is not evil, but the hands that use it can be.
Well, that's certainly true.
And this was long ago. I doubt even our elven friends were alive to see this.
Yes, well, we've met some folks with grudges longer than that, but I see your point.
Now that sounds like a story. Yes.
So you're thin on the ground with wizards around here. It's
yes.
Mostly, I would assume, Right, mostly religious magic users.
Well, the Baronet, he gets his magic from Paylor, for example.
Right. Have you any bards around here?
Oh, plenty of bards. Oh, of the magical variety? Well, it's hard to say. But plenty of peddlers of song.
We like to keep it unclear which of us are magical and which of us are just...
This I have noticed. Well, in fact, one of the great bardic colleges is here on this continent. One of the three colleges that established bardic knowledge as we know it today.
Complete pivot. Bright futures, the college years.
That is what
That's kind of what this is, to be fair.
I always just assumed we were a high schooler.
I think there's probably little difference in a world without formal education.
True.
But I'm afraid I must also take my leave of you. I too have business to attend to in the palace. But I am meeting a friend at the tournament grounds later this afternoon and scoping out, just to meet with them, but also to scope out the joust competitors. And you are welcome to meet me there. And I happen to hold a little bit of sway and would very much like to invite you to dinner tonight at the palace as well. You seem to already be invited, young Master Silver Eyes, but the rest of you'll be my plus ones.
Should we go and find something nice to wear? I mean, I have a nicer outfit, but...
It would be quite rude of us to say no to dinner at the palace.
Well, as far as I've been told that you're friends with the Countess as well. Though she may not know that you're in town just yet, so I hope to break that news to her.
Oh, well then, that would be lovely. But yes, we should find lodging as well as better dress if we're going to do this.
Great. Well, I hope to see you at the tournament grounds. Perhaps come to the tournament grounds in the afternoon and we can go to dinner together.
Also, I had a question.
Yes.
Shandi is staying in the palace, or near the palace.
Oh, you are! Congratulations.
Oh, I just wanted to know, like, I think the reasoning was like, oh, it's booked up, but what if we were willing to sleep on his floor?
Oh, we can't have that, can we? You're honored guests. You'll need beds.
We've got business at an inn today, anyways. We may as well just.
I'm sure we can find a very serviceable place to stay without putting anybody out.
Pierre actually says, "You know what? Short stuff. What's his nickname for now? I don't remember. Short stuff and I are gonna go. We can go try to find a place for us to stay tonight. Bye.
Okay.
Just sort of grabs you
have fun,
and they go on their. And this is from their mouths, one of their mouths, on their very platonic shopping day.
Excellent. Have you guys been noticing, like, weird vibes from them recently?
I don't know if I call it weird vibes.
Typical.
They seem the same as always.
There's certainly a vibe, nothing weird about it.
Okay.
Byron does saunter off. Not saunter, he sort of hobbles off after them because they're heading in the same direction as he is. And as they head off, you hear Byron's voice booming in pretty much one-sided conversation as they all leave. And you are left at the entrance to the Shining City on the mountain. Most of the city seems to be clustered around the foot of the mountain here, but you can see two mirroring sets of switchbacks leading up the mountain's side, crisscrossing once a little ways up and then again even higher, both times under a waterfall along the water channel that runs down the mountain and eventually becomes the river in the valley. You see there's a row of buildings following the switchbacks up the mountain until it meets at what looks to be another large sort of piazza in front of another ornate gate. This gate blocking off entrance to the massive palace sitting a little bit over halfway up the mountain. The city is alive and bustling, and you can see the beginnings of a festival brewing. Stands are being erected, deals are being talked through, there's a general buzz in the air. Again, sorry, I hate this song. I gotta take it out of the playlist.
You hate this one?
I hate this song. It's really...
I love that one.
It's good, but it's only good for when it is good.
It's similar to the one with the children screaming.
Yeah, the fucking...
Sometimes it's a vibe killer.
Yeah, you're like, oh, shit. Again, the population, though, here dressed either significantly finer clothing than what you saw in the countryside, or what has to be ceremonial armor, is overwhelmingly human, most with olive brown skin and light hair. Your group sticks out like a sore thumb, and you've already received no shortage of double takes.
Heather's doing her typical "we're in a large city" conga type thing behind.
You haven't left. You haven't gone anywhere yet, but
I know.
You go.
I'm assuming position.
First order of business, I suppose, should be to meet Resk's contact. Then, correct?
Let's do it.
And then
Is
we
it
can
just
go
you,
about...
or are we all
Well,
go?
he may just want to speak with me, but we may as well all go.
Oh, he'll love that.
We should we get our nice outfits on, or at least the nicest that we have?
Well, if we're going to be trekking about the tournament grounds later, we should change after that so that we don't muck up our finery.
But we may want to buy nice outfits today while we're out. But it looks like commerce and buying clothes is not going to be hard here.
Yes, that shouldn't be a problem.
All right. Juresk first, then?
Well, his contact, but yes.
I listen, knowing him, he's the kind of guy who would say it's his contact, and then you get there and it's just him.
Oh,
It's some sort of
no.
weird power play.
I'm aware of who we're meeting.
Oh?
You've met them briefly, actually, I believe. Everybody but Una. She was napping at the time.
Oh.
I don't remember.
At the when we were doing security duty.
Yeah.
It was with Resk when we checked him in.
Oh.
You remember now the sneering kobold tiefling that was alongside Resk at that event.
So this should be pleasant. Let's get a move on.
Cool. All right, you ask around probably to find the Rosy Knave, the inn you're trying to meet him at. It's a very small inn here on this base level of the city. It's nothing terribly impressive, and it's almost tucked away behind a larger building. As you enter on in, you see a couple people down in the main room, standing next to one of the tables and turning to look at you. Cleaning out a large mug on a tight-fitting apron is a portly human man with a big blonde mustache connecting into thick sideburns and a massive bald spot. He'll turn to you, and you see a flash of worry enter his eye as he looks at you guys. And he goes, welcome to the Rosy Knave. Can I be helping you, fine folk?
We're just looking to meet somebody here.
Oh, are you here for that devil-looking fellow?
Yes. Well, that would be him. Yes.
All right. Yeah, he's upstairs, third room to the right. I'm sorry. It's none of my business, and I try not to pry, but I've been getting complaints from the other guests. When you see him, can you tell him to stop moaning and groaning so loud in the night? I mean, I don't want to impugn on anyone's privacy, but it's a decent establishment, you know.
Is he donking someone?
I'm sure I don't know. But I've been receiving some complaints from his neighbors, so.
We're sorry for the trouble.
I'll see what I can do. In the meantime, and I'll slide 10 gold across the counter for the trouble.
Well, thank you, sir. I very much appreciate it.
Don't mention it.
As we go up the stairs, so I'm just gonna say, we don't want to stay here. Too nice of an establishment. People complaining about some moaning and groaning in the rooms. This isn't the kind of place for us, guys. We need to go a step down from here.
Cool. You head on upstairs to the third room on the right. And as you approach the door, you do hear what sounds like ragged moaning and groaning coming from inside.
Oh my god.
Well, I hope we're not interrupting anything. And Shanti will knock on the door.
The groaning stops, and a voice calls out, "Who is it?"
It's Shandi. Sure to check in.
Oh, the whelp. And you hear dragging footsteps up towards the door. The door is swung open. The figure answering the door is covered in a huge hooded cloak and absolutely covered in bandages. Last time you saw him, he had two big curled ram-like horns. One of them seems to be missing. And you see him reaching the door. He's breathing heavily as though that was some extreme effort on his part. He's almost unrecognizable to you, including Sean D. But him calling you whelp in that voice, this is definitely your contact. Deje Flag? I don't know. We never really did. Yeah, Dej
we never
Flag.
said it out loud. We just...
Yeah.
Dej, it looks like you've seen better days.
You weren't sent here to analyze me, were you, whelp? In. And he sort of limps away from the door back over to the table in the room.
Shandi looks back at the rest of the group, just shrugs and walks in behind him.
Well, should we go with him?
Let's get in here and close the door.
Yeah, we go in.
Normally this guy's like a swaggering shithead.
Yeah.
Vibe is very different from this guy right now, Shandi.
Are you sick?
You could say that. He reaches into a bag and pulls out a set of fine yellow and black clothes, and throws them on the table in front of you. You're to be representing our house, so you'll need to look the part. And he pulls out as well a signet ring of House Resk and places it on top of the clothes. How much do you know of what you're supposed to do here?
I know I've been sent to Wu, in place of Resk's son. I know... I'm like checking my notes for how much I do know. I know... Is it Anise was her name? I know I am sent to woo Anise, or somebody in her stead, as per the traditions here. And the rest we intend to research thoroughly today and in the coming festival to figure out how best to do that. We've got many eyes on this right now.
You're almost correct, Whelp. Yes, you're to woo the target, but you're also to neuter the advances of the other suitors in whatever manner is necessary.
I did mean to ask about them. They were mentioned on our way into the city.
I have some intel. There are 3 in town, only one of whom I see as the biggest threat. Lesser threats, the Earl of Narive, Lord Percival Fontaine. Notes say he's 19, the son of the Count of Fen's Reach, the northeast of Salos. He's well-liked enough in high society, he's very proper, but he's not been known to light a fire under the ladies, if you know what I mean. On the other hand, the captain of the 5th Wing Company, Hand of Mercy and Vengeance, Lord Felix Numon of Aragul, from Caerleone. He's a martial prodigy, the youngest member of the Silvered Beasts ever at age 23. His family once ruled a small principality in the fields of Aragul and Caerleone, but now resides in the capital due to the whole Ghost War situation. I'm sure you're familiar. Reports have it, though, that Felix prefers it that way. He likes to talk with his twin swords, Mercy and Vengeance, more than in the lofty tones of politics. And the third, and I think biggest threat to our mission, is Odessa Tevratine, the daughter of the Marquess Belina Tevratine on the last night of Volante. She's the trickiest suitor, since Odessa and Anise grew up together and the families are on fairly good terms. She's also the most impressive of this sorry bunch. She's undefeated in jousts in the valley, though to be fair, she doesn't participate in many, because she spends far more time assisting the knights-errant of Castle Northweep and keeping the valley safe and peaceful.
Yes, we heard her name on the way in as well.
She's the favorite to win the joust tomorrow, a feat that I have no doubt will impress the Countess and her progeny and her family to no end. So perhaps that's where you start.
That was the plan, though. I'm sure you're aware my education did not consist of the joust.
You don't need to beat her in the joust. You just need to make sure she doesn't win the joust, whelp.
Point taken.
He leans back into the bag and procures a vial of red liquid, pops a cork off and downs it, and then anyway, you'll need to check in when the deed is done. I'm to evaluate your performance.
So you'll be reporting to Resk as well as the school, because we are being graded on this assignment as well.
I couldn't give a cockatrice's ass about how well you do in your school assignment. I'll be reporting to our master.
Could I try to do a check to see what that potion was due to color, viscosity, and smell?
Go for it. Make a medicine check. Yeah, medicine check.
That one. Plus 9. 10.
It was thick, and it was red. That's about all you can get. It was a very small vial.
Yay.
Mr. Flag, point of order. So Shandi was sent here to woo in the stead of Resk's son.
It's a tradition, or well, an old tradition.
Yes. Who are the folks who are wooing in the stead of these people?
There aren't. You're at a disadvantage, whelp.
Oh, they're not following the tradition.
It's an old tradition.
So I'm to woo Anise herself then.
Yes.
All right.
All right.
Easy enough.
Are
Right.
there
Guys.
qualities of Resk's son that we can use to?
Well, it
Are
doesn't.
you gonna
It doesn't
do we have
much.
anything?
It doesn't much fucking matter, does it, kid? As long as Silver Eyes here can charm the pants off this princess bitch, then it doesn't matter.
Yes.
Or we can make the other ones look so uncharming, I think is what we're getting at.
Whatever works, any means necessary. And if you need to hide a body, don't ask me.
Easy. We seduce the other three and get caught in the act.
Well, you've got some interesting friends.
I could make a potion tonight and slip it in their drinks and make them all have the shits.
Now we're thinking.
Or I could give her whatever you're taking.
They don't want that. Ugh. Well, are you satisfied?
Well, it's more information than we had coming in. The job seems doable.
I'm glad
Is
you're
Resk's
here.
son
I almost
particularly
had to
strong?
do this in your stead. And I think we all know that wouldn't have been quite as clean.
I suppose you don't know, so I'm not gonna ask.
Know what?
Are there any discernible qualities about this boy who we're supposed to get married
Have you
that
met?
we could use to sell him?
Have you met Alfiar Resk?
No.
Has Everett? I don't think Everett has.
Well, he has, and he points to Shandi. And that's what matters. It's his son. Think about him, but younger.
It's the same. He's the same. Okay. I don't mean offense. Is Resk very smart? Is he strong? Is he handsome?
No, I don't really see why you even fucking care, kid. This ain't your
I
job.
want to be successful. That's why.
Well, it's not your
Okay.
job. It's the whelp's.
But it's my grade, okay?
To be fair, we all have a vested interest in Shandi's success.
Well, then ask Shandi. Why don't you? Because your voice is giving me a fucking headache, kid.
I think that's the main contributor of what's ever happening to you.
You see eyes sort of under the hood glare over in your direction before going back to...
Perhaps we should take our leave, friends.
I look at him and I say, look at me. Do I look scary to you?
No. You look like I could break you over my knee.
I know I do. I know I do. But here, and I pull out. I'm not threatening you, but I pull out the scythe, and I say, "Do you think I got this by being stupid?"
I don't care how the fuck you got that creepy scythe. I've done my part of the job.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
And you're gonna report. You are gonna report to me when this is all done. With good news, I hope.
We all hope so. Before we go, this is a bit awkward for me to have to ask, but we did receive a complaint on the way in. If you could just keep the volume down a little bit, I think everybody here would have a nicer, smoother experience.
Why don't
or if you could just keep giving the bartender gold like we did, so that way he wouldn't get pissed at you.
Why don't you all get the fuck out of my room?
Okay, well, as long as I've delivered the message, I've done my part in that agreement, so we'll be on our way.
Good luck, whelp.
Are you dying?
None of your goddamn business, Mushroom. Now
okay,
get out!
To help, but okay.
After we leave, Shandy's gonna look at Tether and go, he's not as good at nicknames as Pierre.
No, Pierre's quite good.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna get a lot of mushroom here.
Well, I think you'll be surprised. I think a lot of people will be too taken aback to give you much of any nickname.
True.
I think a lot of people will do what that stable boy did and ask that you not curse them.
What if I just start going like
I wouldn't. I think that would go poorly for everybody.
Now, depending on the moment, it might be important. No, I'm serious because if these people are as superstitious about the arcane as we can, and we can get in the head of one of the opponents, right, and convince them that they are cursed, could be big.
That'll be fun. I'm not sure how good I am at convincing, but...
So next on the agenda is clothes, I assume. I mean, I've got mine figured out, apparently. But,
and show us that color scheme again.
Black and gold.
Black and gold, baby.
Right. Should we attempt to match to show that we are in?
That were your boys.
That we move in unit.
My retinue. Yes.
Or do we not match so that if we're caught in some sort of trickery, we have plausible deniability?
Or you don't want the princess to associate you with the mushroom monster.
Also, perhaps worth thinking about.
You raise a good point. I don't think I want to go as far as Resk was implying we should to sabotage our opponents, but...
No, I don't. I would like to not kill anyone.
But some trickery, some sleight of hand might be necessary, so maybe it would be better if we weren't dressed in matching uniforms while we went about our business.
Alright. Well, I'll go for something different then.
Okay.
Silver and blue.
Also, Shandi, I'm just telling it to you now. If you want to fit in and get all the cool kids to think you're cool too, and you want to like join in on them and call me like a foul fungi, you can. I won't take it.
Heather, I don't think I'll partake in that because I have my own. I stand out as well here.
Okay.
I think we all do a bit.
I mean, even Everett does, yeah. You're quite a bit paler than even the palest person you've seen so far here in CLS.
Question, Shandi.
Yes.
Dej seemed more interested with sabotaging the efforts of the other suitors than necessarily winning her hand for Dusk's son.
The way he sees things, if I'm the only option, then by default I win her hand. That's just the way he prefers to go about things.
But that's not necessarily true, right? A plausible ending to this could be that the queen decides that she's not getting nobody.
If only it were that simple in the nature of court marriages, Everett. But at the end of the day, an alliance must be forged, a pact must be made.
Yeah, but if the pact isn't a good, then it's not a strategic pact either. That's the point I've been trying to make, is that if are all of these potential suitors from the same, like, would it all be forming the pact with the same side? What am I not understanding here?
The pact that you guys are trying to form, you're the only ones trying to do that. The rest of them are just trying to get married to a countess, effectively.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so there is no pressure here on the politicians of Salos to form a pact with anybody. So really, we're just trying to woo somebody.
But there is pressure for the politicians of Salos to get married.
Okay, there's pressure on our end, of course. I guess the point I'm just trying to understand, what are their motivations?
Of status within the nobility.
Okay.
It's an upward climb always.
I think the more pressing concern is what do we do when she actually just falls in love with Shandi and doesn't want to be with Rask?
There's actually a whole novel series about that.
The Countess is the top. Like, there's no...
The Countess rules this region. The Empress rules the Empire. But none of the people who are trying to woo her are at her level. I mean, and Anise is not the Countess yet, but she will be one day the Countess.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to... So, basically, she's marrying down.
Probably. If she married the Earl of Nariv, he will also be a count someday, and that will be an alliance of two counties in Salos, which is powerful politically. The Lord from Caerleone, it's a different political system, so it's hard to say really where that would line up. And then the daughter of the Marquess is definitely below the Countess in status, but they are childhood friends and have grown up together. And the daughter of the Marquess is pretty well known and famous in the area.
So I think that we need, ultimately, it's the decision of the Countess. The
Countess and her niece, who will be the one marrying.
But all things being equal, it's the Countess's decision whether or not she gives freedom to her niece to make her own choice, right? So I think the first thing we should figure out is the mind of the Countess, right? Is she pursuing some sort of political gain, or is she more interested in what her niece wants?
And I don't know how we figure that out.
Well, she should be present at the banquet tonight. We could start there.
But are we going to be like, hey, are you, like, down for love, or are you down for politics?
Well, we'll be in her house, and we'll see the way she carries herself, and the way she talks to people, and the way she treats her niece.
And this also, I can see the influence of our merry band rubbing off on me by even me suggesting this, but, maybe one of us snoops around behind the scenes a little bit. Maybe there's something to be gained from that.
I can be a fly on the wall.
Yeah, if only one of us could
literally,
walk the
I
wall,
imagine.
that would be so helpful.
So tonight, when we're all in the palace, there's many ways to get information. Is all I'll leave it at.
What we could do is we could do a heist and switch the Countess's chair with me, and I turn into her chair.
So just a reminder,
that would accomplish.
You don't get to pick what you are when you use the Ring of Domestic Disguise. You roll on a table.
I will guess it.
What bullshit did I miss?
Heather wants to become a chair.
Gonna become a weird session.
Not for that reason.
Oh yeah.
Either way, are you headed out to go find clothes?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, as you approach the door which has been propped open, a large shadow falls across all of you, covering the door. The owner of the shadow, standing in the door, is a massive 8+ foot tall man with hulking musculature that almost seems to barely fit through the door itself. His face and hands are furred and lion-like, with a huge mane of orange fur surrounding his feline features. Despite his bestial form, he is dressed quite finely. Well-pressed, immaculate white pantaloons, and a white-breasted coat of deep blue with silver buttons and a silver high-trimmed collar. A silver epaulette on one shoulder and a crimson sash, trimmed in, of course, silver, give the appearance of high station for this man. The figure carries at his hip a rather large, but probably quite small for somebody of his size, weapon made of ivory, a sword of some kind that comes to several distinct pointed teeth instead of a blade. He looks down at you all while ducking his head to fit the door, and you see the innkeeper just sort of, his eyes go huge, and he just sort of backs and sits down and looks to mind his own business. As this figure looks down at you, scans the group of you, and then his eyes focus on you, Shandi. It seems my sources did not lie. A scion of that ruined bloodline does walk the streets of this city. Tell me, Asime, what do you expect to find here?
I don't know that it's any of your concern.
Hi, my name is...
My apologies, I've been rude. I'm Ambassador Kebdal of the Western Sea, Kursala.
Shandi Silver Eyes. A pleasure.
Silver Eyes? You don't need pseudonyms here, Asime. I know what you are.
Every time I have to explain. Unfortunately, I'm a bit divorced from my heritage due to the circumstances of my upbringing.
He studies you. And you get the sense from his expression that he doesn't quite believe that.
Listen, believe what you want. I'm not here on any business that will affect you, hopefully. Just here on a school trip of sorts.
I hope that's the truth, Asime.
What color are this guy's eyes?
Brown.
Okay.
He's like a full-on lion man, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is clearly not a shifter. He is...
Okay.
This is what he looks like 24/7. He's huge. He is a lion man.
My mental image, unfortunately, went straight to the dare lion.
Alright, well, that's allowed, I guess. And the rest of you?
What?
Part of the field trip.
Your
nice to meet
names? You were the one who suggested
Everett
it.
Cornelius Nelson, nice to meet you.
Tether.
Captain Xanthus.
And you're all here on this school trip, then?
We're with the Bright Futures Initiative.
I'm afraid I'm not
Perhaps you've heard of
familiar.
us.
I have not.
Well, give it time.
Is that a threat? And you do see the hint of a smile at the corner of his face, a big fang showing.
No, it just seems every time we travel, we meet more and more people who have heard of us.
Oh, this is Annabelle, by the way.
Howdy. He looks a little not taken aback, but he's like, he's certainly not seen something like that before. Well, I hope you enjoy your stay, and I hope this is the last we see of each other. Asime. And he ducks under...
Is that a threat?
Yes. And he ducks out the door and walks up the street.
Andy, why are you constantly in the strangest company?
It's just appears to be a running theme in my life, I suppose. Let's go buy clothes.
All right.
Okay, Asime.
Tether.
Yeah.
Tether, I wouldn't.
Don't push it.
I wouldn't use that. For all you
I don't know what it is.
For all you know, it's a slur.
Oh, true.
Wouldn't be the first time
Shit.
Michael said a slur on stream.
Hey, I'm allowed to say that one. I have multiple gay friends. They said it's okay.
Heather, you don't have the pass.
All right, you're heading out to buy some clothes?
Yeah.
So I still have my purple coat and tan suit. Like it's still
Yeah,
nice.
it's in good condition.
Yeah, I think I have the nice outfit that Cordell gave me ages ago, as well as also there was another time that we got all dolled up.
Yeah,
It was for Shandi's belt funeral. I believe you bought some nice clothes for that as well.
That's
we
right.
bought clothes. We bought clothes
Welcome
at Derek
action.
Batchin ahead of that too, though, didn't we? Because that's when Sean got his wrestler get up.
Only you, Sean. Only you, Septon, and Everett did that.
The problem is I don't have anywhere on my inventory to write down the different outfits I have.
Just
It's a real flaw in Foundry.
I think you can in your storage make new little items you can put on there. But,
Yeah, and also my nice clothing for the funeral was kind of a gimmick.
I don't remember what it was. What were you wearing?
It was just sheer black fabric.
Oh right. Yep.
I do think
that won't work.
I do think I want to get something new. I've got the money. We've got the time.
Can
I
I
also
make
love.
it? Go ahead.
I was gonna say I would love to see what passes for a magic shop in a city where the arcane is pushed aside, or see if it doesn't exist.
You might try church, honestly.
I've
Well,
never tried church before. I don't think that's ever been something Sefton has done.
I'm gonna make a history check.
Okay,
I
go
wanna
for
make
it.
is about recent history.
What are
I wanna
you
know
trying to figure out?
As much about the Countess as I can,
Okay.
because I want to know if it's going to be more advantageous for us to be like Shandi's cool foreign friends, or like his homies that dress the same as him and like don't rabble rouse at all,
Sure.
right?
Go for it.
21.
21. So the Countess du Chamanteau, outside of the fact that you know that your buddies rescued her in the Underdark fairly recently, like last year, and that she was on somewhat of a covert mission to meet with contacts in Zymor. Like, none of this is public knowledge. This is just stuff you know from your friends telling you. And you also know that she is a sympathizer to who some are calling the Usurper. There's an individual who's showed up in the past couple of years claiming to be a claimant to the original ruling bloodline of Salos, from the bloodline that was killed by the Knives of Zymor. And that person is kind of underground because the military has been set against her, but she has sympathizers here and there, and you know that the Countess is one of those sympathizers, because one of the things the Usurper sort of stands for is a less rigid caste system than Salos has at the moment, which of course the upper caste of Salos are not huge fans of. And the Countess isn't like crazy active politically. She rarely makes up to the capital, but she's well loved by the people of the Evdetour Valley. She has been a kind ruler. She has been as just as possible. Though to be fair, it's a pretty peaceful place. Not a lot happens here in the Evdetour Valley. It used to have some bigger problems a long time ago, but not really much anymore. It's kind of a vacation spot for the rest of Salos, especially since right down at its at the mouth of the valley is the Western Sea, which is not an actual sea, but a massive, seemingly endless field of plains with tall golden grasses that the tribes of the Kursala live in. So, like, there's not a lot coming in and out of the valley other than people who are coming here to vacation. So her job isn't terribly hard, but she does it well. People seem to like her. She came to power after her uncle abdicated the throne. So her mother was the previous countess, and when she died, the countess's brother, the former countess's brother, was given the opportunity to become the count. He didn't, for whatever reason, and she took over as the countess at a fairly young age, and she's been doing pretty admirably so far. Notably, she has not been married, and claims that she will never be married, and has never taken suitors of any kind. Now, that's not normal for someone of her stature. It's also why that her niece is so sort of important politically, because her niece is confirmed as the next countess, and whoever marries the niece will, be the husband of the next countess, not be the count themselves, unless it's the count of a different place who will be the count of that place. It's an odd move. She was criticized pretty heavily for it, but she's been in that stance for as long as she's been the countess, and people have kind of gotten used to it as of late. So she's definitely not your traditional Seleucian ruler, but she's not doing anything publicly that would mark her as like a radical or anything.
I guess what I'm looking for is, are we going to score more points with her standing out or fitting in?
Since she already knows all these people, you get the sense that it probably doesn't matter.
Okay.
She owes her life to these people and already knows them, so pretending to be one thing or another probably wouldn't have too much an effect on her. It may have an effect on the person you're trying to woo, but not a whole lot is known about her. She doesn't really leave the palace too often. She's
I'm not. No, you can finish.
She was raised by her aunt and her grandfather, because her parents passed away a long time ago. By all accounts, she's a very nice girl, but that's more or less all anyone knows about her. She's very recently come of age, which is why all this sort of frenzy for her being wed is happening right now. But before that, she's been pretty sheltered from the world.
All right. Well, I think I'm just going to wear my outfit that I bought in Time War, because, that's that I feel more comfortable in that, and I feel like it won't do me much good just to pretend to be like you're, on your team or nothing, except that I'm your friend. So.
Okay. So who's outfitting? Me, Septon.
You and Septon, and potentially Una and Pierre. I'll have to ask them later.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Also, guys, I'm not suggesting we do this because we helped her out and she's nice. But if we get desperate, we can blackmail the Countess to force her niece to take Shandi by saying we'll tell all the other nobles she's helping to usurp her. As like a last ditch effort.
I would like to keep our reputation with her good, but
that should come right before we start killing people in terms of the hierarchy of plans.
That's what I thought. I just wanted to. We have a backup plan of a backup plan.
Is there a plan somewhere in here where we just reveal to the Countess, hey, we need to forge an alliance to stop a war?
I'm gonna leave that one up to Shandi, because I feel like Rest probably is not into that level of radical honesty.
It's not about Resk. Resk doesn't even know that's why we're doing it, does he?
He did suggest this as a way to potentially prevent the... He's also very anti there being a war. That's not why you're doing it, but his solution... This thing that benefits him, he did offer to you guys as a potential solution to ending the war as well.
Interesting. Maybe we should wait until we have Pier and Una back around to discuss that one. But shall we get fitted, Tether?
Yeah, let's look good.
All right, cool. You start heading out around the town. As you're looking for places to find clothes, it's not too difficult, but you do notice, and something you mentioned, sort of trying to look for this. There's no magic item shop that you can find. The best you can find is like a bauble or trinket dealer who will sell like a floating coin or like a rock that can glow. That's pretty much the best you could find here in terms of like magic item dealers. If you wanted to like try to see if there was like a magic item black market or something, you could, but that would require some checks. But in terms of just like walking around, you don't see a whole lot. In fact, there's very little of magic of any kind to be found here. And at this point, you're pretty used to Zymorian cities where like there's magic streetlights and a little magic boat under in the canals that takes you from place to place, or even in the capital, like heated ground or teleportation, public transportation. There's like none of that anywhere here. None of this is all very, very mundane in construction. It doesn't mean that it's not beautiful and wondrous in its own way, but magic isn't making it so. One thing that does make it that way are that there are flowers everywhere. Just every possible available surface, there are flowers. The most common of the flowers being daisies and lilacs. And this gives the city a very fresh and floral smell. None of the general city smells that you are used to. With the water flowing through and the flowers everywhere, it's this like fresh, wonderful smell. A smell that, for you, Everett, seems achingly familiar. And it gives you this strange feeling that you can't quite place, but this like lilac over water smell, it tickles the back of your brain.
I'm gonna where are we gonna sleep? Are we sleeping in that inn that we were just in?
Oh no, we still have to find a nice inn.
At this point, Una and Pierre could probably find you. They found 2 potential places to stay.
Okay, I'll meet you back at the inn. I gotta go see I gotta go smell up.
Well, hold up. There's 2. We haven't decided. There's a quiet little B&B up on the snaking paths called the Valley View Road Stop, and it's run by this old lady named Delilah. At 1 gold per night per room. And the other one is this huge, big, bustling inn up in / tavern up in Paul's Square, the square up next to the palace. It's called the House of Rock. 5 silver per night per room, or 2 gold per night per room with complimentary access to shows at the orchestra hall next door.
A House of Rock.
Yeah, I think the second one probably.
It's spelled Rauque. So,
I hate that, but come on.
It's
what if we went to the place that had less people staying in it?
Big and bustling. We have to rub shoulders. We have to
learn more around people than you do not around people.
Hear business.
But the people don't want me there.
They have a point, Heather. If you're being forced to stay outside the palace because of space, I'd have to imagine that there will be parties familiar with the other suitors forced to stay the night in various accommodations as well, so there may be a chance to get an inn there.
Heather, we need to find a way to disguise you amongst crowds so you don't have to feel so stared at all the time. If only there was like a hat that would disguise you.
Wait, are there people around right now?
Yeah, milling to and fro. Giving y'all some weird looks as they go.
Oh, I was gonna give you this, but I realized it wouldn't work for you, so, I'm not gonna do that. But if you want this mask...
I'm good. You know, like... You know what? They can stare. I don't care. Let me scare them. Whatever. They're stupid, ugly people.
That's true. That's true. Well, I'll see you at the House of Rock.
Cool. Everett
Okay.
heading out. What kind of clothes are the two of you trying to get? Like, what kind of outfits are you looking for here?
I'm gonna find a rather nice-looking establishment.
Plenty of those. Particularly up the second
Yeah,
sort of
yeah. No,
plaza.
we want to head up into the
Yeah.
nicer area. I want to walk into a nice establishment and be like put my hand on the counter and be like, I am expected for dinner at the palace this evening.
Oh, a palace dweller! Yes! The only guy so far you've seen speaking in what you consider a Solosian accent. You notice this far southwest, High Solosi ain't too common, weirdly enough. I wonder why.
Now, as you may have guessed, this is not gonna cut.
No! Come with me! And he
And
whisks.
if you could, something that would complement my complexion.
Yes.
And for my friend here as well.
Make me look good.
He whisks you off to some changing rooms, takes your measurements, and he starts building outfits for the two of you. For you, Septon, it's actually fairly similar to the ambassador's outfit that you just met with, like, the sash and stuff. But instead of, like, blue and white and starched, it's this, like, golden to orange ombre going up from the legs to sort of the chest. Golden buttons, 2 epaulets. These ones are red with golden tassels. Like, you look almost Napoleonic. You look like a Napoleonic soldier at the fanciest dinner party you've ever seen. Effectively. And
Now,
boots.
I'm gonna try to talk to him as he's making his decisions. I don't need to stand out.
You stand out. This is the trend in the capital these days.
Perfect. Hang on. Is this man full of shit? Have I seen people dressed like this?
Well, you're in the capital of the valley. You're not in the capital of the empire here.
I see.
So you've seen one guy dressed like this. You're certainly dressed in much finer clothing than, like, the people you're passing on the street. But you imagine, to a fancy dinner, people are probably going to dress up a little bit.
Okay. Then we're good. And then the second question. Not to him. Can Septon pull in this if necessary?
Yeah, dude, you look fucking sick.
Okay. Because Septon has to put down that whole we seduce the other 3 and get caught in the act to make them look bad plan. Septon is putting that on the table.
Tether, yes.
For me, he said I don't want to stand out. Make me stand out as much as possible. Like, carte blanche, you're an artist. Do what you want.
These words,
I got the money for it.
mademoiselle, they are music to my ears. And he takes you to the back.
They're not to mine.
You
Let's
hear
start a trend.
You hear rustling. You hear fabrics. You see him exit and come back with, like, a wire frame before heading into the changing room with Tether again. Tether emerges looking like an angel. Literally. There are feathered wings protruding from the back of this, like, silvery white gown. There's embroidered on the gown is, like, the sun rotating the moon, and there's stars all over the place, and you've got these wings coming out the back, and a tiara fit for your mushroom cap. This is my finest work.
Okay. If it's what Tether wants.
Hey, I'm gonna stand out anyway. Might as well look unapologetic about it.
All right, so that is 20 gold from Septon and 40 gold from Tether.
Septon will, of course.
Oh.
Do you have gold on you, or do you need?
No. I'll give him 60.
Oh, mademoiselle, you come back anytime.
Septon will match the rate of the tip, so that'd be 30, I guess.
Some of my finest customers. I swear, these locals, they do not know style like you foreigners do.
Exactly. I want an outfit for a completely different outfit for every day.
Well, you can come on back and I will have it ready for you.
Okay. Bye, moi moi.
Moi, moi.
No. Actually, I will ask. You know what? Before we go, this is acceptable for the dinner. What would be acceptable then for the next 2 days for the festival, the joust, the hunt?
The festival is...
The hunt, I'll wear armor. I'll wear armor.
And the joust, you would probably wear armor as well.
I'll be in the stands.
You're not participating. Well, this will work for the joust. But if you're going to the masquerade ball, you'll need something a bit fancier.
Then I believe we may be back.
Oh, I eagerly look forward to it. My drawing board will be full in the days between our meetings.
If I am coming back, if we are getting things for the masquerade, think Feywild.
Oh, this is letting my creative juices flow like I have not felt in 20 years.
And for me, think trees, mushrooms, earth.
Sort of like a
death.
Like a bog witch who slays type of deal.
Honestly, baby, sure.
It'll work.
Honestly, slay mama. How about that?
Bog witches.
Actually, no.
No.
Phoenix rising from the ashes.
Oh, yes, I can see it. The Katniss Everdeen.
Yes, from the historical tome.
Very well, I shall get to drafting, and I eagerly await your return. My name is Jean Reno, if in case you are wondering. Jean Reno.
JR.
Yes, oui, ouais.
In relation to Jean-Pierre.
There are many Jean-Pierres in this empire. I only know one, and he is a chain-smoking bastard.
Aren't they all?
There may be.
That's so Jean.
Alright. Thank you so much.
Illy.
I just gotta make a note that he's working on costumes for you guys.
Just me and Scepter.
Yeah. Well, maybe Pyrrha and Una. We don't know. Definitely not Una.
Yeah.
Let's be 100% real with that.
Yeah,
but
no.
Costume.
you so you're gonna be a goblin for the masquerade. Okay. Meanwhile, what are you up to, Everett?
Everett is going to go to his favorite place in any city. He's gonna go to the library.
All right. Yeah, you find the library. It's modest. It's not a huge place. It's a 2-story building. It's nothing crazy. I mean, it's beautiful. It's architecturally stunning, but like, you're used to the Crimean Archives, which is a whole castle made of books. It's nowhere near as big.
Did I know this about Seleucian culture? Like, I feel like.
Well, you're kind of in fucking Vacation Valley right now. Like, there's no college here. There's no.
This is island time.
You're kind of on island time right now.
We're in Margaritaville.
You're a little bit in Margaritaville.
Okay, well, we're here, so let's do the thing. I'm gonna investigate a little bit with Annabelle and see if I can't find any histories of Salos that I might not have otherwise been able to read, and get to the bottom of why everything's covered in flowers.
Yeah.
Investigation check.
Go for it.
19. I'm rolling like crazy.
I mean, you don't find any information you didn't already know about Salos. Salos kind of wrote most of the histories of the world, so their whole thing was at the forefront, and continues to be that way. In terms of the flowers, beyond the valley being very naturally fertile, wildflowers and particularly daisies and lilacs have always been a pretty important piece of the culture here. It's hard to say why. It traces back to the Volante Kingdom that was here before Salos. And if these books are true, and even the books themselves say, like, legend tells, even before that, back into the Age of the Gods, they say that Melora and Obadhai, the gods of nature, particularly liked this valley way back when they walked the earth. Even though they didn't like each other, they agreed about this valley. And as such, there's shrines to both of them here in this valley. And flowers are an important thing to both of them. The daisy comes from the Shamanto line. That is their sort of house symbol. And whether the fact that there were a lot of daisies made that the case, or if they sort of chose that and then daisies were planted, it's hard to say. Lilacs is a bit of a mystery to you. They seem to have been here for a long time, though they are not native to the area originally. Like, it's not a thing that would grow here naturally, but for some reason, they're growing here quite a bit. And as such, they've just been planted over and over and over again. It's become part of the culture, although you, outside of this valley, wouldn't probably find a single lilac in miles. But that's the thing that's sticking in your head. Like, daisy's great, flowers, water, great. It's that overwhelming lilac smell that's like, it's tickling something in the back of your brain, and you just can't put your finger on it.
Annabelle.
Yeah.
Let's go for a walk. You like flowers?
Yeah, I love flowers.
Okay. I'm gonna walk around.
She waddles
the city, look for like a park or a bridge or whatever, and just see what the people's relationship with, like, are they like taking care of them? Do they just grow naturally? Do they avoid stepping on them?
Yeah,
are they just sort of resilient?
You sit and wait. I mean, there's no flowers like in the street, but like along the streets, in flower beds, hanging flower beds on most of the buildings. Any green space, these flowers are, and people don't trod on them. They're not just walking all over the flowers. You see some kids go by and will pick flowers. You see people walking around and selling flowers. Every now and again, you'll see like a resident come out of their house and water not only the flowers on their house, but also sort of all the flowers in the surrounding area. They seem to have a respect for them. Whether that's because there's some sort of significance to them, or because like they're nice to look at and they make the place nicer, it's hard to say.
I'll go buy a couple lilacs from a local flower seller.
Buy a bouquet of lilacs for a silver.
Okay. I smell them.
Yeah, this is a smell that meant something to you once.
Does this mean anything to you, Annabelle?
Well, I can't rightly smell, but they look real pretty. We didn't have purple flowers back where I'm from.
Yeah. No, you didn't. Well, yeah, I'm gonna walk around and smell the flowers and sit by the water and think real hard. Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'll look for a garden. Like a place where they're like.
Not hard to find. There are many.
Great. Okay, I'll try to find like a garden with like a statue or like a whatever, what have you, like some place that looks like of cultural, maybe religious significance.
Maybe not religious significance, but you definitely find a statue that is around a fountain of a warrior of some kind. Statue of a warrior, fountain. He's holding a sword in one hand, and a goblet in the other, and the water of the fountain is coming out of the goblet.
I'm sorry that I got you this wooden body. I wonder if I could somehow put you in that guy.
Oh, this statue is very big. It is not a medium-sized statue. It's quite large.
Well,
Well, I listen. I'm not complaining. This body's totally fine with me.
okay. Well, as long as you're comfortable.
I can move around. I don't rightly feel much of anything, but the fact that I'm walking around is a big improvement from a couple weeks ago. So.
All right. Well, I'm gonna I just have to sit here for a minute. if
No,
you don't
that's all
mind.
right.
Just
No, this is
make
lovely.
yourself-
I'd love to sit too.
Yeah, I'm gonna cast in this garden, holding these flowers. So I'm gonna do my tell me about stuff spell. Name or describe a person, place, or object. Oh. The spell brings to your mind a brief summary of the significant lore of the thing you named. The lore might consist of current tales, forgotten stories, or even secret lore that has never been widely known. But if it's not of legendary importance, you gain no information. Well, we're here. I guess I'm just gonna cast it on the lilac.
Okay.
The object of lilacs.
I think within the context of this costs you 250 gold every time you cast it. You do know that, right?
I mean, we have like unlimited gold at this point, right?
No, you don't. Just be sure to be marking off the 250 gold each time you cast.
Yeah, no, I have like 30,000 gold.
Just
So,
just mark it off. Lilacs are not of legendary importance, but the presence of lilacs here is significant. Lilacs are the favored flower of a particular god. And normally, the legend lore spell would tell you that god. But it doesn't. It almost feels like that knowledge is trying to come into your head, but is unable to. And when that god rose to godhood, back whenever, when that god became powerful, back when the gods became powerful, they planted lilacs in several places important to them across the world where they wouldn't normally be. That's about all you get.
Annabelle,
Yeah?
you ever think that you're not supposed to be around at all?
Well, I mean, literally speaking, I think the only reason I am around right now is because you sort of plucked me up out of the dirt I was in. But, I don't think that's really the question you were asking. To really answer you, no, I think we're all meant to be where we are. I mean, I sure would have liked to get the medicine back to Ma and Pa before whatever happened, but if I'd done that, then I wouldn't be here now and I wouldn't have seen all this. So, even if it's bad, I think there's a reason we're here.
I guess so. Sometimes I feel like the thing I did to you, sometimes I feel like somebody did that same thing to me.
Well, maybe
But,
maybe they did.
I guess so. Well, thanks for coming here with me.
Oh, my pleasure.
You want these?
Sure. And she puts one in like a divot in her petrified wood head.
It looks nice.
Thank you.
I'm wondering. This is not because you should feel ashamed or nothing. I'm wondering if we might get you some clothes if you're going to come to all these fancy parties and things. It's not to say that people won't understand. It's just maybe they'll understand a little better if he had something nice to wear.
Well, I mean, if you think so, I could also pretend to, like, just be your automaton servant or something, you know, and only speak in, like, one-word sentences, so they're like, you know, why would you clothe a chair, you know what I mean?
I don't want you to do that. I think that even if I did bring you here, you're a person, and, you know, you should be treated like one, so, or maybe you're a soul, I don't know, but you should be treated like one, so, and if people don't treat you like one, then maybe they shouldn't treat me like one, you know, so I think maybe we should all be treated like one, but I do think you should have some clothes, maybe. That'll help things.
All right, well, I was always fond of a sundress. You think they got those here?
I do think that. We're in vacation land. So, I think maybe they have a lot of those.
Well, then, Everett, I would be grateful if you buy me a sundress.
I think that can be arranged. Let's go find some place to buy clothes. See if they found anybody interesting. There's got to be some fun characters in this town.
Cool. I mean, it's easy enough to buy her a nice little sundress. You don't need to go to the fancy store for that. It's
great.
5 silver.
I will buy her a nice, sort of unremarkable, but at least a good outfit. Yeah,
no, you clothe her in the outfit, and she's got the sort of thing sticking out of her head, and it's an interesting sight because she's like a nondescript, petrified wood statue, dressed like a nice young lady. So you probably get more looks than you did before, but you know she doesn't seem to mind.
Okay, well, great, and I will rejoin the group. Maybe head back to the House of Rock.
Cool. All right, you all meet up at the House of Rock. Probably takes a similar amount of time. All this. What's the plan from there? It is at this point approaching afternoon. You are also a little out of focus there, Tommy.
If I only had any means of fixing this, I would absolutely.
Yeah, it's no big deal. I just wanted to make sure you know.
I suppose the next order of business should be to investigate the jousting grounds.
Go to the jousting fields.
Sick. You guys, if you're getting rooms, how many rooms are you getting? And are you getting the normal rooms or the dinner and a show rooms?
Dinner and a show
rooms, yeah, for sure.
Cool. It's 2 gold per room per night. And you're all each getting your own room? There's enough rooms for that.
I'll get my own room. Something's really pushing me. Go with the seduce people strategy. We'll all need our own rooms for that.
Fine, I'll try to seduce someone.
We have to get caught is the problem. That's how it all works out. Is that we seduce one of the opponents and then get caught in the act, and then that's not gonna work. But
we're gonna put a lot of fingers in a lot of pie. I meant it as we have multiple plans running at once.
That's what
we all heard.
We're gonna run so many layers of interference that we're not gonna achieve anything.
Hey,
I think that's beautiful. This is gonna play out as if we never showed up.
We're just gonna cancel all our plans out with other plans.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, you get your rooms, and then you head on over to the tournament grounds. You head out of the city. You don't get the grand salute that you got from the Liquidor before, but Deviel, the one you know, does nod at you as you leave. As you approach, you will see people in the process of setting up the semi-temporary grounds. This is clearly where things of this nature are regularly held, as an unofficial path has been worn off the main road here, and the grass sort of shies away from the area, as if torn up too many times and wary of growing in full force again. Several knights seem to be inspecting the grounds or setting up preparatory stations in addition to the workers actually setting up the stands and the tents and all that themselves. But before you even get there, you can hear Byron before you can see him, his booming voice coming out of the stands. And as you enter, you do spot him sitting up in the stands alongside an armored and cloaked figure.
Hi.
Suppose we should say hello.
I mean, he's a little ways off. And he's in a conversation with this guy.
You take the lead, Shandy.
Yep, I'm gonna head over, lead the group.
Cool. As you get up into the stands and start approaching him, you see two knights who are sort of setting stuff up in the stands, like look up to you and like stand up as though to stop you. They're like, "Oh, you can't just approach the Castellan." And you hear Byron go, "Oh, come now! Let them through. They're my friends. Come on." And they sort of warily back away. As you approach, you see him. And you also see the man that he's sitting with, who, on closer inspection, is someone you recognize, but you haven't seen in a very, very long time. Everett, you don't recognize, but the rest of the group does. Sitting next to the Castellan is Bolau, who you remember as the second Talon of the Platinum Claw assigned to Wilter's Watch, the city on the edge of the Withered Queen's Court that doesn't exist anymore. Because it got overrun by Crystal.
Yeah. I forgot. Do they look at us fondly?
He's clearly not dressed in the armor of the Platinum Claw anymore, wearing instead lighter steel armor with a deep green tabard and cloak. His hair is a little bit longer, his beard is a little bit fuller, but his features are no less damaged than before. In fact, he seems to bear some fresh scars along his neck, where it looks like something with several large points was wrapped around his neck forcefully. His Platinum Claw kite shield has been replaced with a rather old-looking and large wooden round shield with thorny vines painted in a swirling pattern, and his sword is nowhere to be seen. As he approaches you, Tether, your question is answered as he scowls immediately. And as you approach, he goes, I should go. And Byron puts his hand on his shoulder and goes, "No, come, you should meet my friends."
We have met before, unfortunately under more difficult circumstances.
Oh, I wasn't aware that you knew each other already. And Bolau says, I really should get going, but you and I can meet after dinner to discuss acquisition, yes? And Byron says, well, if you're looking for someone to help, perhaps my friends could help you here. They're great adventurers, you know.
Context clues.
And Bolau says, I think I'll take my chances with your knight's errand. Finishing the job isn't exactly this group's strong suit. Before he stands up, does a curt nod to you all, and then heads off. And Byron goes, "Ugh, I apologize. That man is as thorny as his emblem. And you clearly have some history with him."
Yes, unfortunately, not every adventure ends without casualties, and
We took a bit of an L on that mission.
yeah.
Well, I don't know this new lingo, but I think I understand. Come, sit. Let's observe. It's a beautiful day to see a tournament come together.
Sure.
You look curious, Septon.
No, it's just so. Sorry. Where will we be viewing the joust from? I'm curious.
Here, in my box.
I see. Something really quick. Like, what is the distance between the box and like where a jouster would be?
Probably like 40, 45 feet.
Perfect.
Okay.
Well, you know, like you can't use magic, but like bardic inspiration is not. You know,
Yeah. No, for sure.
toes the line between magic and just a thing that happens.
People who don't know what it is wouldn't bat an eye at you cheering for your friend.
Yeah. You know, I think there's even plausible deniability there. Not a bard of any sort like that.
But yeah, you're all welcome to stay, unless you're intending on participating.
Like,
Oh,
are
Septon
people
wasn't, but
assigned
I was.
horses?
Generally, folks bring their own horses.
Okay, cool.
Folks
Never mind.
bring their own horses.
Well, yes, I mean,
Wonderful to hear.
part of the challenge is
Together.
the bond between.
It's all coming together.
Oh, there is a beautiful bond between Shandi and his horse.
I'm glad to hear it. Tether, are you the horse?
I mean, yeah.
That's fantastic. What an ingenious idea. I love that.
Is that? Do you know the rules? Is that the grounds for disqualification?
No, I don't think anyone would have a problem with that. Though, you might want to do something about your rather grisly equine appearance.
You're right. I can totally turn that off.
What?
Is that true?
We'll think of something.
Oh.
We'll think of
Well,
something.
I'm sure you'll think of something. And it wouldn't disqualify you either way, but I doubt the crowd would really get on your side in that
But you know
way.
what else? Know who else wouldn't like it?
Who?
Other horses. They get spookied.
That's true. That is true. But and it's important to win the heart of the crowd as well in jousting.
Specifically, one
Making
crowd
hearts?
member.
Ho ho ho! You've already set your sights on some individuals. Well, there's plenty of beautiful women here in the Evdetour Valley. How are you liking it so far?
Oh, it's quite nice. Picked up some clothes for this evening. I assume I do not have them on right now.
I assume you're probably not wearing your fancy clothes out to the dirt zone. That's great. I know I sound like a small town yokel when I say this, but I truly believe there's no place better in this world than the Evdetour Valley, and I would do anything to protect it. I have a granddaughter, you see, and I don't want any harm to come to her. I want her to live in a beautiful place like I've had the privilege of doing. After her parents were killed by undead, I did my best to raise her, to do the right thing and tolerate no injustice, and I hope she won't have to. I hope that will never be an issue for her.
Was it the Lich?
Perhaps. One undead is much the same as the next, I find. Mindless creatures who destroy life as easy as the rest of us breathe.
Oh, I'd have to disagree. We've had our run-ins with a fair share of different types of undead over our time.
Well, intelligent undead are even worse than the mindless ones. They plot and scheme, destroy and bring darkness to all that's good.
Not always their
Quick pivot. Quick pivot. So we have like magic horseshoes. Is that allowed?
Probably not. I'll be honest, I'm not the foremost expert on that sort of thing.
Who would we speak to? A judge or a referee around here?
Well, they're not here yet, but, Odessa Tevratine. She knows the ins and outs of a joust. She's right there, approaching now. You see, someone on a horse, on a beautiful white stallion. You see, a figure approach. An austere woman in, strangely unglamorous, just very utilitarian armor. With a long sword on her hip and a big shield on her back, dark skin and dark hair cut rather short, approaching. She seems very stern, very austere, sort of surveying as she approaches on her horse. Now that's a fine knight there. I know it may be hard to believe, but I won't be around forever. But if knights like her are protecting this place, then I'll feel good in my passing. It'll make it safe for the children of the valley and whoever comes. And after all, one day the children will be the ones to inherit all of this. Everett,
You work with her a lot, right? Oh, sorry.
make a wisdom save for me, Everett.
You're muted.
You're muted.
She's gonna be a cleric or something, isn't she? Or a paladin. Alright, Wizzy. 23.
That phrase you've heard before. Exact phrase. One day the children will be the ones to inherit this after all, and it sets you into a daydream. And we'll get to that in a minute. But know that at the moment, you're kind of out.
So you know a lot about her?
Yes, her and
Work with her a
I,
lot?
well, she works with the knights errant who gather at my castle. In my duty as the Castellan of Castle Northweave, I provide a place for the knight errant of the realm to stay and to gather and collect responsibility and jobs and help the valley. And she, though she does not need to, does come and help very often indeed.
Likes, dislikes, fun little anecdotes.
She's
Chit-chat prodder.
She's a rather stern woman. She doesn't take kindly to my more jovial nature. But her and my granddaughter get along quite well, so she's not all bad.
And she's in contention for the hand of the bride as well, right?
The bride?
Oh, we've heard rumor that there are many suitors for the not the Baroness, the Countess's. Thank you, the Countess's niece, daughter.
Oh yes, a niece.
Niece,
Yes,
yeah, that's
the
why
niece,
her name
yes.
is a niece.
The Countess's niece.
Yes.
Yes.
My granddaughter.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Granddaughter.
You didn't know this. This is the first you're hearing.
Your granddaughter. Yes, we've heard there are
Yes,
many suitors interested. Walking through town today, you pick up on that sort of thing.
Yes,
rumors.
it almost brings a tear to my eye. She's already a grown woman. I
so
still think of
glad
her as a child.
I'm so fucking glad that a minute ago Septon didn't jokingly ask if his granddaughter was single.
It's a new suitor. Shanti versus Septon.
The thought passed through my head to ask that, not realizing who the character was.
That would have been fantastic.
Oh.
Yes. Oh well. I'll be honest. I've been doing my best to keep my mind off of it. My little girl, to be married, to be wed. Well, that is. Well, that's.
That sounds stressful.
It's not the thing. She's still so young. I don't. Either way. But were it to be, young Master Tevrotine, well, there's worse matches. They've got along. They've got along quite well since they were young girls.
Are you planning on helping her out, providing counsel?
I don't think so. You have to understand. It's not exactly uncomfortable for me, but she's my granddaughter. I don't. The thought of her being wed is still new to me.
Yeah.
You remain neutral in all this.
Yes, I suppose. Although as the closest thing to her father, I suppose my blessing would be a necessary component of the marriage.
Yeah, would be quite important. We've heard rumor of the different suitors who are.
Have you? I would be curious to know.
If only I remembered their name. It might be said out of character.
Well, there's the Carleolan. Oh, there you
I have them all written down if you guys want me to say them.
Percival and Felix were two names we heard floated.
Oh, Lord Percival is here. It's an odd boy, really. Never took to the sword.
Odd how?
He's bookish. Spends all his time in the library. Some even say he practices magic.
And yet, I hear the niece, the niece, your granddaughter, does not leave the palace much.
No, my...
Bookish could be just her type.
My niece, the Countess, thought that,
Okay.
It tracks.
Goes over and then it goes back over.
Yeah.
I understand.
Clarissa, yes, my niece, thought it best to raise her safely. After all, her parents were.
Yeah. We can skip that.
Yes,
We don't wanna
I
skip
appreciate that, Tether.
No problem.
I think we all have parts of our history we'd like to skip.
Yes, that is true. And while I would have liked her to see a little bit more of the world, perhaps, now that she is of age, now is the time. And I like to think that me and my knights errant have made it quite nice for her.
Definitely.
So perhaps she were to meet a foreign noble suitor, she could go see the world as you wish. Travel to the other continents. Of course, not forever, but...
Yeah, there's that Carleonin.
Oh, a Carleonin! They're quite fierce.
Yes,
The Felix, you say? I'm not familiar with the lad myself, but perhaps I imagine he'll be at dinner tonight. Perhaps I'll get to make his acquaintance.
Yes, there'll be lots of handshaking tonight, I imagine.
Yes.
You should roar at them because the lion.
Oh, 'cause he's a lion knight. Well, I'll have to ask my friend the ambassador to do such a thing. I wonder if there's a connection. Lion folk and lion knights? I've never asked.
Oh, he'll be in attendance tonight as well, will he?
Yes, the ambassador. He's a good friend of mine. Former drinking buddy.
Oh, that's,
Now, what
to
are we
hear.
drinking?
Wine, primarily.
Oh, yeah. Are we red? Are we white?
I
like
prefer...
dry?
I prefer a dry red.
Like a Cab Sav, maybe like a Merlot.
A Merlot,
maybe,
yes, is my favorite.
Okay, cool.
Like, are you telling me you use real world wine names and you haven't recreated the entire history of wine in your...
Brother, I don't know the real world history of wine. I couldn't come close to making up new alcohol
Well,
for myself.
so is there
I
a
do
Merlot
have-
region?
I do have some...
You just take every name of wine and swap it with a name of a region in your world. That's it.
Oh, easy enough.
They're all-
I
they're all just
love
named after
a
different
good
parts of the world.
Mercath.
There you go.
It's a bold name for a wine.
Well, it's from the Mercath region.
Well, I hear it's quite bold.
It is.
flavor.
It is. It is.
Isn't Mercath a vampire?
Good legs.
Nobody knows that.
That's right.
Wait a minute, this wine is blood!
It's only dark red.
Viscous.
But
Crazy legs.
no, is that it? Those two and Tevertine over there.
Oh, I'm sure there's more.
I imagine she's a catch. What can I say?
I'm gonna try to whisper to Septon. He's gonna find out sooner or later. It's gonna be weird if we don't tell him now.
Septon's gonna look at Shandi.
Shandi is gonna sit up slightly straighter and try to look presentable. Yeah. Well,
You know, we should be fully honest with you. We have also been sent on behalf as envoy of another suitor.
Oh, a Zymorian
This is the
suitor
first time.
for my
Yeah,
granddaughter.
this is the first time we found out it was your granddaughter.
Yes.
Otherwise, we'd have told you.
Oh, did
sooner.
I not say earlier? Well, my apologies. I guess I suppose I didn't know.
Yeah.
Which of you is will be doing the shooting?
that would be me.
An
His envoy.
upstanding young man and an adventurer at that.
I'm happy you think so.
What do you know of this man you woo for? Is he good? Is he kind?
He is the heir to a powerful house in Zymor, is my understanding of it.
Yes, sure. But is he also an adventurer like all of you? Perhaps a friend?
Everett is cursing Dej Flag under his breath right now, having asked this explicit question.
Well, one has to imagine that, like his father, he's got a sharp wit about him,
Oh.
a cunning mind, and a sharp smile.
Oh, well, that doesn't sound half bad at all.
In fact, I could say he's been instrumental in a number of our adventures. Rather a key
Invaluable,
player.
even.
A key player in a few of our adventures, yes.
Well, you all seem to me to be upstanding folk, and I doubt you'd keep the company of one who wasn't.
I mean, I would argue his father made Shandi the man who he is today.
And you seem
Could
a
argue
fine...
that, Sefton.
You seem a fine man at that, young Master Silver Eyes.
Going. He's got the spin on the story now.
Well, I mean, it's an old custom, far more popular in my youth. But if they've chosen you, they must have good taste.
Did you use a representative?
No, I did not. But
You didn't send the baronet?
Oh.
the baronet was not alive when I was in my wooing days. Let me tell you.
Much younger.
Nor would he have done a very good job, let's be honest. That man is a terminal bachelor. The line may end with him. No, I'm a rather odd member of my family. I was given the chance to rule, and I didn't think I would do a good job. So I've become more active, and I lost most of my power at court, and with it, most interested parties who were seeking my hand, they lost interest.
In there.
But, well, perhaps it's too long a story for now, but my fondness for adventures began with a very special woman.
Ah, you married out of love rather than station.
What station? I no longer had a station.
Oh,
Well-
we're gonna trade some stories at the wine cooler tonight. Am I right?
I should hope so, Tether. It's a grand tale of espionage, of adventure, and of romance. And at the end, I'm afraid to say tragedy.
And I'll tell you one of macabre.
I can't wait to hear it, Tether. I think you and I are going to be good friends.
Hey, you know what? I'm gonna be real. I doubted you, but you know what? Let's get into it.
All right, yes.
Shandi, say the thing about Resk. Why did Resk get married? Not out of station, but out of...
Sorry, it's hard to imagine.
He's like,
it's only been a few
I'm
days.
gonna Tether's
yeah,
running
him and
interference,
Tether
gassing him
are
up.
like vibing right now, so he doesn't even notice any of
Sefton
this.
is like, now, instead of like stepping on Shandi's foot, like, say a thing about Resk, because it's similar to...
It's funny you should mention marrying out of love rather than station. Resk did the exact same thing, and
Oh, the father of your suitor.
Indeed.
And the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree.
Interesting.
Oh.
That's a thing you've been told.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, it seems to me an odd decision for one who is looking for love to send a proxy, but I suppose I don't know much of your empire. Perhaps you're more formal than we are.
Oh,
Lord
the
Byron.
customs are quite different.
Lord Byron, not to derail our conversation entirely, but we are here at a tournament. Shall we not talk of great conquests? Let me tell you about a fish that was 300 feet long.
Oh! And he's locked in as he listens to your story here.
And I proceed to tell the tale of Big Benny.
How much are you exaggerating, or are you just kind of telling it as it was?
I mean, it was a 300-foot-long fish with wings. Like, so
We did
I-
wheel in Big Benny.
Yeah, but we can put Shandi on the forefront.
That's true. We're gassing up Shandi.
Gassing up Shandi.
All right, I'm gonna ask one of you guys to roll. I guess it'd be performance, right?
Guys, I'm taking the check.
With advantage.
it.
With advantage, because you're all sort of helping out here.
Can I also give
Alright.
him guidance?
That would be casting a spell. So you might be you can, but you'll have to roll a sleight of hand to make it not.
That's okay.
All right, performance with advantage. You said.
I did.
Performance with advantage. 25.
Woo. He buys it.
I have a plus 13 in performance.
Oh, yeah.
He buys it hook, line, and sinker, pun intended.
Yeah.
And is very
At one point,
impressed.
At one point, Shandi, when he was reeling it in, he flexed so hard that the sleeves of his shirt blew off into confetti.
You know, I knew a man who used to do that as a party trick.
They blew up my biceps back in my youth.
Your sense of humor is very strange, Heather. I like it.
It's true.
In response to this story, he tells a story of his own. And you trade back and forth here a little while. But Everett...
I tell everybody to say, let's save the dragon just in case we need it for later.
You already told him about the dragon.
About the dragon.
That was the first thing. That was the first thing you told him. Which, fair, right? Look.
Yeah.
Everett, though. While this conversation is happening, this reverie, this phrase, and the smell of lilacs all around you, you find yourself drifting out of the conversation, focusing, just trying to focus on like where you've heard that before and where you've smelled this before, and you can't get it. And you can't get it, and it's frustrating you, and you like find yourself completely unable to concentrate on anything else until images start to appear unbidden in front of your eyes. A daydream, but more. We get the right song here. You, as these images come, as these sensations come, you find yourself closing your eyes. And you feel as a clear breeze rustles through your hair. You open your eyes, and you're somewhere else. This clear breeze, a gust almost strong enough to knock the glasses off your face. You're standing on the bridge to the main library. And it's always quite windy here, even if the water below is calm. And on a beautiful summery day like today, the wind, if strong, is a welcome sensation as you make your way towards the gleaming campus. The other scholars on the bridge are too slow for your liking, and sensing your impatience, several of them chuckle and move out of the center of the bridge to let your youthful energy gust past. Before too long, you feel the metal of the bridge give way to the earth that surrounds the library, and the smell of the lilac fields fill your head with familiarity. Some other folks from the mainland say that the combination of the lilac smell and the dizzying heights that the campus floats at makes the experience of arriving at the library an unpleasant one, but having spent the better part of your life here, it doesn't bother you. You rush past the robes of several more scholars, earning a grumble here and a chuckle there, before entering through the grand golden gate of the building. The woman working at the desk opens her mouth to greet you, but she quickly stops herself when she realizes who it is, knowing full well you already know where to go. You make your way hurriedly around a few corners, the smell of books now mingling with the prevalent lilac aroma, before reaching your destination. A book on a small lectern. A book on a small lectern. A few strange symbols marked on the front. You flip it open and you smile. The notes you left late last night after finishing a particularly stirring story are now gone. That means he read them. And if he read them, that means you can discuss. You whip around, darting for the nearest stairs, almost knocking over a sleep-deprived student in the process. You half utter a word of apology, but you're already far out of earshot by the time she could have heard it. Up the stairs, down to the left, slide between the misaligned bookshelves, a shortcut only you can pull off, and up another set of stairs. You reach the floor that houses your mentor, Solar. You're not too far off now, but then you hear a voice. You put altogether too much faith in them. The words make your pace slow. The voice speaking them brings a slight dourness to your step. The man from the continent is visiting again. His presence, more frequent with each passing week, is not unpleasant exactly, but you don't relish it. His haughty posturing, his gauche dress, and mostly the way he looks at you. A cold mix of condescension and pity. You're no stranger to the treatment of young scholars by their aged peers, but this is different. There's something sadder in his eyes. You do well to trust my testimony on them, he continues. They do not have our best interests in mind. Your mentor's voice now drifts past the shelves, calm, reassuring, and yet curious. Now, some of them are enigmatic, yes, even combative, but the vast majority simply seek to do the duty left to them. The issue, I think, is not with intent, but rather with perspective. The man from the continent replies, You don't truly believe they mean to take advice. They would sooner see the end of all things than change their ways. Well, even she would not deign to... You round the last shelf and see them sitting in the solar, framed perfectly by its decorative arched entrance. The man from the continent in his usual perch on the windowsill, a gaudy shadow before the midday sun and fields of lilac. Your mentor at his modest desk, dwarfed in his overlarge chair. They turn at the sight of you, and the man from the continent fixes you with that gaze. The little scholar approaches. It seems it's time I took my leave. Your master raises a hand with a slight smile in your direction. Hold a minute, friend. Why don't we ask our youthful companion for his opinion? After all, the children are to inherit all this either way. The visitor looks bemused, if a bit incredulous. Very well, ask away. Your mentor beckons you towards the desk, his eyes alight with the joy of debate. Your most recent notes spoke again of those books you so love, the fanciful histories of far-flung worlds. Tell me, were you to find yourself at the reins of one of these fantasies, charged with penning the next installment, but upon a preparation and review you found flaws left by the previous authors, be it philosophies you found doubtful or characters you had no taste for, would you do away with all that came before and start anew? Or would you continue where they left off, flaws and all, and fix what you could with what you wrote next?
Well, I think that well, the story doesn't work if it doesn't have a beginning, does it? I think there's always got to be something that happened before. And the characters in my story, well, what makes them special is what's going to make them different from what came before, I think.
The man from the continent scoffs. An idealist just like his teacher. Well, I suppose that's for the best. After all, he's to inherit what comes, no? And your mentor looks at you. A strange hint of melancholy entering his eyes. He is. Yes. And your reverie ends with a loud laugh from Lord Byron. You realize that some time has passed. It's been probably about a half an hour. And that's a terrible song for this. That's why I gotta get rid of this one. Alright. No one seemed to really notice you guys. Notice your absence. They were having their conversation, telling stories back and forth.
Lilacs, you have a lot of them.
Yes, I suppose we do.
They're very nice.
I agree.
I noticed that their prevalence is only matched by the daisy.
Yes, the flower of my bloodline.
How did that come to be?
Well, if I'm being honest with you, young Master Everett, I didn't pay too much attention in history class.
Oh, understandable. It's, well, some of us like to know how we got here, and some of us just like to live in the moment. Isn't that right? Anyway, this has been fun. What's going on in the tournament?
But the tournament hasn't started yet. It's tomorrow, but,
yes.
we were just
Well,
sharing stories back and forth. But I should, takes me quite a while to climb up to the palace, so I had better head that direction now. But feel free to take a peek around if you'd like. I think Tavertine is still here somewhere if you wanted to speak to her, but I shall see you all at dinner.
Yes, indeed.
I'll see you there.
Yes,
I
you will,
have a horse
Tether.
question.
I have a horse answer!
No. I was gonna ask Dina about the horse.
Oh, yes!
Thing.
No.
Yeah.
But,
No.
Tether!
I'll think of a horse question for you.
No, you don't have to. But I do look forward to sharing a drink with you after dinner, perhaps.
Hey, let's share 5.
Oh,
Let's get crazy.
I like how you think, Tether.
We have fun here.
We do. And he pushes himself to his feet and begins to
Ugh.
stumble off with his cane.
Sorry about that.
About what?
Nothing. I'm sorry for nothing. Well, this has been fun. Let's go to the House of Rock.
I have a quick horse question to ask first, but then yeah, let's go to the Rock.
Yes, I think it's best I fraternize with the competition as little as possible, lest they get one over on me in conversation or socialization. But Tether, feel free to ask, and if you can leech any info out of her while you're there.
I got you, buddy, but also don't doubt yourself.
Now, to be clear, is the tournament tomorrow?
The joust is tomorrow.
Do you two want to learn how to joust before then? Maybe
Well, I think for
practice-
me, it's run in a straight line.
Right, but perhaps you two should get on the same page and practice.
You're talking to the president of Sword Club. I think I can figure my way around a lance.
Okay, now I think we should do it. You know what? Now I'm with Septon. Okay, let me ask the horse question, and then I will horse, and then we'll do some drills.
Cool.
I'm gonna jog over to Dina. Her name's Dina?
Odessa?
No. Odessa? What am I saying?
Close.
You know, it's better to be confident and wrong, you know?
As you approach, she sort of looks at you as you're running over to her. Hello?
Hi. You're Odessa?
Lady Tevrutine.
Oh, sorry. Hi, lady. My name's Tether.
I saw you speaking to Lord Byron.
Yeah, we go way back, drinking buddies. You know how it is. I have a horse question.
Sorry, who are you?
Hi, I'm Tether.
No, I got your
I'm-
name.
Well, okay. Oh, sorry. Hi, lady. I'm a Tether from Zymor.
Lady Tevrutine is how I am referred to.
Lady Tevrutine. And I'm just Tether from Zymor. I'm part of the Bright Futures Initiative. We're heroes, and we do adventuring stuff, you know.
I have heard of the Bright Futures Initiative. I didn't think you'd be attending.
Well, you know what? Here we are. You know, I never know what we're doing until 2 weeks. You know how it is. I have a horse question.
You saved the life of the Countess.
Oh, yeah. She's really cool.
I must thank you for that.
You know, it's part of the job.
Anyway, your horse question?
Yeah. So I'm gonna horse.
What does that mean?
Oh, I can turn into a horse?
Oh.
I'm
So
sorry, Peter.
So you intend to be a horse
No.
in the joust?
Yeah.
Do you
And we
have
like,
Do you have a rider?
Yeah, I'm not just gonna. It would be funny if a horse could hold a lance, but no, yeah.
Yes, funny. What's your question?
Oh, we have like special the things that you put on the horse feet,
Horseshoes?
and I wanted to know if that was illegal, and if so, we won't do it.
Special as in forged by a prominent blacksmith, or special to your family, or...
No, special as in I haven't done it yet because we don't really know what would happen if like I turned back into this and I still have horseshoes on. But like I think I
You know,
float a
they
little bit.
nail them into the horse's feet.
Yeah, been there. Am I right? But
No. What?
anyway, that's a long story. I'm sorry. No, I think it just the horse floats a little bit.
They're magic.
Oh yeah,
No, those aren't allowed.
not good. Yeah, I figured. I just thought I'd ask.
I also I don't really know you, but I can't recommend nailing horseshoes to your hands and feet.
Well, you never want it to happen. I'll tell you that.
Right.
Yeah. It's tough childhood and all of that.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. What was your childhood like?
Fine. Is that the only question you had?
I mean, we can have more. Might as well be friendly. Do you have any questions for me?
An unending number, but I think I'll manage.
Okay, well, I'm gonna be at the party tonight, so maybe we can sit next to each other.
I will probably be sitting at the suitor's table. Unless you're attempting for a niece to Shumento's hand in marriage.
Can you imagine? No, of course not.
Can't
That would be
really
wild.
imagine. But
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that you and your band of vagabonds, or whatever you call yourself, are here, and I'm sure you will enjoy the Countess's hospitality.
Can I ask another question? It's not a horse question.
Yeah, if you must.
Vagabond meaning is.
Traveler.
It
Ne'er-do-well.
was- Are we all there?
No.
No.
Okay.
You're watching Tether fucking biff it, though, from a distance. Like, body language-wise, you can tell that Teverdine is not having a great time in this conversation.
I have an 8 charisma. I need to do it somehow.
Yeah. No, it's
I
great.
think the seduction plan is going to work on her if we send Tether.
Okay, so
I don't think any of our plans are going to work on her at this point.
yeah,
Maybe she
I
likes
just didn't know the
goblins.
word.
No,
Didn't go to
it's...
school except now.
Aren't you... Yes, except now. Well,
Yeah,
I have pressing business to attend to, Tether, of the Bright Futures Initiative. I hope
What business?
joust prep.
Oh my god, we're about to do some joust prep. Do you want to give us some pointers?
Well, I wouldn't really make sense to give pointers to my competition, so no.
Well, don't you want to face the best?
Frankly, I'm not even that interested in the joust, but it is part of the festivities.
Oh, why not?
There's more important things to be done.
I get it. I get the pomp and circumstance. It's a little like for us like salt of the earth types. It could be a little like it could be a little much.
She's like actively looking around for like a way out of this scenario right now.
Oh, you looking at the flies? There's a lot. I think it's because they're tilling the earth.
Perhaps.
What's your favorite insect?
Beetle.
Which one?
With the thing.
Oh yeah, those are cool. I have one. Oh my god, which I actually do because I described having one sessions ago.
Oh, I don't need to see it. I like them from a distance, you know.
Are you sure?
I'm sure. Listen, Tether, it's been lovely speaking to you, but I really must.
Aw, thank you so much. I was worried about coming up here because, you know, I've been getting some looks.
Yes,
But it's good to hear.
I can imagine that's the case. I really must get going.
Okay, is Lady just like a title that you're given, or can I be Lady Tether?
Do you have noble blood?
Who knows at this point? They really just drain it out of me multiple times.
That's morose. No, I don't think you can be Lady Tether unless you gain nobility through great acts of heroism.
Well, isn't nobility in the eye of the beholder?
No.
Okay, yeah.
Great meeting you.
I go over to Septim. I go, I wonder how this is going.
You see as the Hevertine leaves.
Why do you wonder?
Bye!
She does not respond.
I jog back. Okay, so the horseshoes are a no-go, but she actually seems very nice.
Well, we can only hope Joust prep goes just as well as that did.
All right, and as
I
you
know, right?
Oh
as,
no, I do not hope it goes as well as that.
and you start to prep for the joust, and that is where we'll end tonight's session of Bright Futures. We'll pick up next week. From there, yeah. Thank you guys for playing. Thank you guys for watching, Mr. Bot.
Thank you for running.
Hey there, you stream pretty cool. That's why I followed you. Don't add me on Discord, okay? Sure. But if you're not currently playing a TTRPG with your friends, you should, because you can get dressed up. You can get dressed up all nice, and you can't do that in any other hobby. Don't look that up. Don't look it up. Okay, bye. Okay, bye.